you doing, all you beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Backseat here, and today we are back at it with Ant again. Apparently, Ant is saying we need bad LGBTQIA representation, whatever the flying fuck that means. So we got our boy, whatever the flying fuck that means. We got our boys Jeremy, Noah, Eric, Luck Pup, and Jan. So yeah, what do you guys think Ant is even on about in this fucking vid?
He's probably out of his mind again.
Yes.
Passive aggressive bullshit.
Yeah, just lunacy. I feel like it's kind of SJW infighting. People be like, "Oh, you made a gay person what they were doing." Wow, and she'd be like, "Oh no, we need all this representation." Probably just some infighting.
Yeah.
I think his video is him saying why he disagrees with someone else, somebody saying bad, and that's why he puts it in quotes. If Ant had beef with another fucking YouTuber, he'd put it in he'd make it all about that, like he did with Shad. Like he did with Shad. Anyway, and with our resident half gays, Luck Pup and Jan, what do you guys make of this concept? Like, we need bad representation.
Okay. I just want good stories, man. I don't think that we need any representation.
Yes.
We can have as much as little representation as the artist wants. I'm fine. Whatever.
I'm the same way because, obviously I'm here. I'm pretty much anti-woke. It's whatever. But one thing I will say is, as a whammon, homosexual women stories are a lot more prevalent than, like, men for obvious reasons. So it's even less of a thing. I even had a thing about this.
Well, anyway, here we go.
For many years, queer cinema was dominated by one name. John Waters was far from the only...
that fucking mustache right there.
Okay.
Oh, God.
It's a weird mustache.
I'm sorry. All right, anyway.
Only director who cast primarily LGBTQIA actors in his films, but he was one of the most noteworthy. Waters primarily...
That is creepy.
Yes. Is that the bitch who inspired Ursula from The Little Mermaid? I think it is.
Sure feels like it.
I don't know. That could be, actually.
Worked in the Baltimore area and hired local actors.
Jesus, he looks I don't know why, but he looks like fucking Steve Buscemi mixed with Salvador Dali. Jesus H. Christ.
They called themselves the Dream Actors.
Yeah.
Many of whom were people Waters knew personally. Divine was a childhood
that is it. That's the bitch who inspired Ursula, yes.
Friend who would become Waters'
that's Godzilla.
Partner. Others
there it is in the background.
Bars.
Yeah.
Edith Massey, most famous for playing in Pink Flamingos as Divine's egg-obsessed mother, was a bartender John Waters knew. Waters' films garnered a massive cult audience in the 70s and 80s, playing at midnight screenings across the country.
Wednesday, October 30th, 1974. Divine comes to Philadelphia. The fabulous lady, accompanied by her director, John Waters, has arrived to commemorate the first anniversary of Pink Flamingos. This so-called exercise in bad taste was just beginning its second year as the midnight attraction at TLA.
Waters' success, in part, was due to his films being among the first overtly queer films to gain distribution in America during this time, but also because of how unapologetically dirty and vile they were.
Why are they licking that thing?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
If all you know about Waters and Divine...
Mental illness, yes.
For the sake
of
John Waters is attractive. Very weird dude.
Yes.
And Ursula, you have another thing coming if you flip on Multiple Maniacs or Pink Flamingos. Or even Serial Mom, for that matter, though that was made after Divine's passing.
Serial Mother.
Whereas modern filmmakers try to create sanitized, positive representation, Waters embraced filth. He embraced the grotesque, the offensive.
Okay.
There was no line in the ground
He's
that
just
Waters
doing what
would...
he wants. What he wants happens to be gay, really.
Right.
But it's also, I don't really understand. I don't understand what the point is being made here. Is it just that he made gross out movies and that's negative representation? Because I mean, if the movies are funny and of high quality, that's still positive representation, right? I'd say the positive versus negative is subject to the quality of the art itself, surely.
Oh my god!
People about representation are thinking about it in a weird way.
If Ant is saying that we need more films like this shit, then he's gonna have an uphill battle convincing. He's gonna have an uphill battle convincing everyone to make these films, because I don't think anyone, straight or gay, wants films like these. Like this shit is genuinely disgusting, man. Christ.
There's no way this is gonna be worse than the Mary Sue video, though. Hopefully.
Oh my god!
You got so mad. I
got so mad. Holy hell!
Somersault over.
I know.
Filter my politics. Filter's my life.
And you know what? I really miss that.
No, you did not just say that. Okay.
Well,
I think you can get shower, you asshole.
So
yeah,
I guess the question I would like to ask Ant is, he does understand surely that if this is the representation, though, that people, like gay people or LGBT people get, this is not going to lead to good outcomes writ large, because your ability to get social, rights, capital, whatever, is contingent on the majority group being cool with you. How do you think this helps that cause?
Right.
Yeah, I don't really think that Anthony understands what good versus bad representation is.
The thing is,
this video seems to be arguing it's not about whether it's straight laced or not. It's about whether they're well written or well made. The films themselves being characters themselves being weird or has nothing to do with that.
When people typically say bad representation of any minority group, they tend to think of an incredibly poorly written character whose sole defining trait and sole contribution is their particular minority status, right?
The token.
They don't actually yeah, exactly. Like they don't contribute anything, and the reason that many would argue that's bad is because, number one, it diminishes, in terms of an artistic value, diminishes the quality of the particular story being told, and in terms of actual societal impact, you're pushing an image of these people as being, of the particular minority group, as being, well, lunatics, right? So.
Right.
And I only have 2 words for you: seek God. Anyway, moving on.
A lot of grifters have appropriated the language that LGBTQIA people use when criticizing rainbow
grifters
capitalism.
Why do they have to be grifters?
Yeah, it's overrun with grifters.
Whoa, is this an early video?
It started as
he has a different angle, I think, than he used to have.
He made this video 8 months ago when we're watching it.
It's recent.
8 months. Noah, what world are you living in that 8 months is recent?
As opposed to years ago.
Okay.
He just moved.
How long has this channel existed?
I don't know. I'll have to check. Later.
Maybe it's not recent.
Maybe a year or 2. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
But he got okay.
All right.
They use these terms in order to criticize.
Also, his poor bookshelf, for God's sakes.
Representation. And while individual writers and artists are making great progress in order to further representation, and more importantly, they get jobs in industries where they can, get paid for their work, a lot of what they do is restricted or commodified by corporations who want to create offensive, marketable personas to sell to LGBTQA audiences in order to get more business without angering the bigoted. But does this work?
How much do we agree with that shit?
I mean, he's definitely not wrong about that, but I feel like he's going to take that and make some... He's definitely not wrong about that, but I feel like he's going to use that point to say some wildly inaccurate and ridiculous things.
Yes.
I don't understand, and I would need a citation of something like, I guess without angering the bigoted, does he mean... Because this could, under no circumstance really apply to, I'd imagine, Western markets. Does he mean, for example, when they, censored Finn out of the TFA poster in China or something like that?
Or cut the lesbian kiss out of Tross? I don't know.
Right.
Who is the bigoted, Ant? Go on, Look Bub.
I think the China thing, that is in reality, if what he's saying had any weight, that's what it would mean. However, he's meaning it to apply to Western audiences where it's not applicable.
Yeah, like I would be really curious what particular like studio interference he could be appealing to that is trying to like in the West, if you have a gay character, you just have a gay character, right? That's not tampered with in any way. If he's talking about like mass marketability, of course, there's going to be a difference between like an art house film and what you would expect a major studio to produce. But that's also because of the budget, right?
Yes.
Like you can't have big budget movies like what that other the John Waters gentleman was making because it doesn't have mass audience appeal.
No, we saw that with Bros in 2019, I believe the year was, or no, it was a little year. It was a little after. Anyway, it don't matter. Anyway, yeah, we saw that with Bros. Like part of the reason this is just what I've done, dicking around, doing my own research. Part of the reason why LGBT-focused, mainstream films fail is because the market is just so small, right? So first of all, it's LGBTQ, right? So unless you're an ally to this shit and you're straight, you're not gonna give a damn. So you've already just eliminated like 90% of your fucking audience, right? Now we have to figure out. Go like what?
I was just gonna say, a lot of if you see stuff like, Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss, stuff that is mainstream but has like a lot of like LGBT stuff in it, a lot of what can get popular but contains that stuff is women focused.
Yeah, like lesbians and whatnot.
Not just that, but to a female audience. Like
okay.
Hell of a Boss,
like the yaoi genre. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So back to my point, right? Right from the get-go, LGBT films like basically alienate the straight audience, right? Now we have to figure out what specific freaking LGBT is, because remember, LGBT is an acronym for a reason. It's a big ol' umbrella term. If it's a gay film, well, there go the lesbians, there go the bis, there go the transes, there go the fucking, there goes everything else. So now you're appealing to a fraction of a fraction, and you don't make big budget movies with that huge of a budget if you're going to appeal to a fraction of a fraction. You know what I'm saying? And like Luckpub says, the only way you can get out of this good is, again, if you attract the big ass female audience, like what Love, Simon did. So anyway, anyway.
I was gonna say one more thing on top of that. It's like certainly, because what you're saying is correct. If like with Bros, it's like the gimmick of the film is this is like two gay guys who like each other.
Yeah.
Conversely, you can make you can make a mass appeal movie that has pro LGBT themes in it. But you can even have one where the two main leads are gay, for example. You could, but the story would have to be more than that, right? You'd need more in the movie for it to generate mass appeal. Generally,
yeah.
So like, and like if he's saying the big budget studios are going to do that, well, yeah, of course, because they need massive returns to make the production worthwhile. So this is just a strange thing to say. It's like massive studios won't produce art house films. Well, yeah, duh. That's why they're art house films, right?
Yeah. Anyway,
basically.
Plus, even then, the big budget films often feel like "quote unquote" the theme park version of these subcultures. But anyway, let's push on with the video.
Or eat anything that you like, or do anything that you like. Just don't assume that I want to know your troubles.
I don't really think it's all that effective. Books are being banned left and right.
Okay, Ant, why?
Why are they being banned?
And seriously, ask yourself why. Where are the books being made available? Who is reading these books? Who doesn't want them reading the books, and why?
What's the demographic?
Yes.
Like I saw all this shit.
What's in the books?
What they say.
It's a good time to bring this one out, but everyone is in favor of books being made not available in certain spaces. Like,
yes.
What he's highlighting there, these books are not available. I don't know which of you said it, but yeah, you can probably get these at Barnes & Noble because that's the bookstore. Target, which is a convenience general purpose store that has a book section, is probably not going to want to buy market stock of, books that might not be sold because they have shelf space. Those books will take up space if they're not getting sold.
Yeah, he's talking about Target, not fucking Barnes & Noble or Borders bookstore.
Yeah.
Over here we have Waterstones.
No,
Like,
kind of a
of course,
strange thing to bring up.
there we go.
Point.
Yeah.
Hey.
So like, what does ban mean? Like in this concept, it's like that. He says ban, and now it says removed from target. That's like very sneaky, because target could be removing them for any number of reasons. Probably, let's be honest, profits, because it's a company. They want to make money. If these books are not selling, why would they keep them on stock?
This is definitely the reason.
Yeah.
Has removed the option to buy queer literature for younger audiences.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, right there, younger audiences, that's a big part of the equation, Ant.
Like, again, what does he mean by queer literature? Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Why does it seem like so much queer literature is always wanting to target a young audience? Like, oh, coming of age, teenage stuff. Like, come on, like, make other stuff. That's so much of that market.
If I was going to make an argument, if I was going to make a devil's argument, like devil's advocate style argument, I guess they'd say that it's because, it's automatically assumed that those people will have difficulty growing up with that, but that's, that's something that parents should be having conversations with them about, really. I don't know that if they want literature for that, I don't know if anyone else had this, but like my dad, when I was teen, he like a teenager, he bought me like a book about puberty and that sort of thing. If they want to have like that style of book, I think that's like fine, but it shouldn't it's not something you'd find at Target either. That right? You'd have to go every way to buy it.
You have to be searching for that.
Yeah, I feel like he's talking about two separate issues.
You have to be searching for
young
that
audience and literature, and then literature in general.
Yeah.
We're coming for your children. Anyway.
While some books like genderqueer are targeted by bigots overtly.
Bigots.
Oh, come on.
Oh my goodness.
It does not end at books that are simply explicit. Heartstoppers is a graphic novel series that was adapted into a major Netflix show.
I saw that. I saw it.
Wait, hold on. What?
Heartstopper is so cringe.
Yo. What?
Yeah.
Go back one more. Go back one more. You'll see it.
I know.
There it is in the middle. 3.
All right. That is so
funny. At least you can't fault them for false advertising. Anyway.
All boys
it's original. I'll give them that.
All boys.
Wait till you guys see my book. This book is retarded.
Flamer. the bluest eye, me and Earl and the dying girl. Tricks. Talk about it. Sold. Anyway.
They're simply explicit.
Wow.
Heartstoppers is a graphic novel series that was adapted into
god, this art looks like shit.
A major Netflix show, and it was being challenged in schools and libraries during the peak of book banning in 2023. Parents in Mississippi claimed that Heartstoppers was pornographic and depicted imagery of a deviant nature. Of course.
So did Stephen King's It.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And plenty of other novels that are just fiction.
Yeah, but Stephen King's It is not marketed to children, so at least it has that going for it.
This is true.
Even then, that was still like really weird what he wrote it at.
He is never living that shit down.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, no, he is not.
Yeah, like why don't schools have Super Mario Bros. 3 brick by brick?
Hell yeah, let's do it. We need to read that. Has anyone here actually read that? I've read that. I own that book.
I did. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Anyone who's read Heartstoppers knows it barely gets any more explicit than hand-holding and kissing. Any book that seems to feature any queer themes tends to get challenged as explicit.
Groundbreaking.
Even if all that happens is a simple admission of attraction. When Becky Alberteri's Simon vs. the Homo sapien Agenda was adapted into the film of Simon, the adaptation omitted several more explicit bits, though it's hard to call the book particularly explicit in any case.
What do you mean?
The film
it's based on the book.
Film and book center on Simon, a closeted gay teen who keeps in contact with a digital pen pal. Another student stumbles on Simon's correspondence and uses the information as blackmail in order to hook up with one of Simon's friends. In both versions, Simon struggles with being closeted until, spoilers for both, he is outed to his entire school by the guy blackmailing him.
Oh no, Rainbow Rowell, that's not good. That's not a good endorsement. If you know who Rainbow Rowell is, that's not a good endorsement.
I don't.
Who is that?
crappy comic author. Anyway.
No, I was just going to say one more thing about this. So this seems to just be a foray into look at all these books that are so innocent and yet they were removed from these stores because we've already established that Ant doesn't distinguish between being taken off the shelf and being banned. What possible reason do you suppose that they might have been taken off? Because these don't seem like they could have been bad books. That's true. They could just be a case of these aren't books that are appealing.
No, I mean they were just bad for children, the mind of a child, to be reading that.
Well, it could be that. I mean, it could be any number of things, right? Like it
could be. Which should be up to the parents.
Yeah, and like the thing is the idea that these stores should be forced to keep these books solely on the premise that they have like a strong social message. It's like Heart of Darkness doesn't exactly fly off the shelves these days. That's a good, strong social message, but Target doesn't stock it. I'll promise you.
Yeah.
In retaliation for not.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's some other books that have been reported to have been removed from school libraries that people question why that were not LGBT. One of them is Assassination Classroom manga, and they said it was due to like school shootings and stuff, but it's where, if anybody doesn't know, there's like the evil villain teacher, and the whole time it's the kids have to try to kill him. It's not, not anything like any sort of school violence or school shooting. A lot of
he's an alien. This guy's an alien.
School libraries that is questionable, and a lot of stuff is removed from school libraries for different reasons, whether people think that's a good thing or not.
Retaliation for not fulfilling his end of the bargain, essentially. And here's where things diverge drastically.
Okay.
In the film Love, Simon, this outing is treated the same way a third act breakup might be, or a liar-revealed plot twist being unveiled.
He screenshotted my emails, and he's been using them to blackmail me for months. What does that have to do with us, Simon?
With Simon's secret revealed, every character has an emotional...
crime or something?
What?
Also, yeah, probably, yeah, but it depends on the state.
I'm pretty sure he could probably go to. Isn't like blackmailing like a crime? Like he could probably like.
It is a crime.
Well,
Who blackmailed him? What I want to. Oh my god.
His emails are fake. It's so
one
easy.
of his classmates.
One of his
classmates who wanted to sleep with a friend of his. So,
yeah.
That's what he's blackmailing him for?
Yeah.
Just say the emails are fake.
What? Say again.
One of Simon's classmates is blackmailing him so he can sleep with one of his friends.
Oh my god.
Yes.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
Also, he's done keeping his story straight.
I know teenagers are dumb, but like, I don't know.
Why would you need to blackmail Simon? Couldn't you just ask his friend?
I don't know. Maybe the specifics are in the book. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know.
Simon, tension rises, but everything gets resolved relatively quickly. And everyone acts slightly out of character, too, in a way that seems weird. The film almost blames Simon for holding back on telling people that he's gay. Everyone seems upset that Simon didn't admit this to everyone early on, placing the blame, seemingly, on Simon.
So you made up a bunch of lies. I trusted you. You know what? You're insanely stupid, Simon. Is that all these years, you being so picky with girls, I thought that maybe it was because you might like me too.
Everyone's upset with Simon.
Okay.
So, I've not seen this film. Just based on those two scenes alone, I would hazard a guess that they're not upset for him for coming out, but they're upset that he's been deceiving them with other things that are auxiliary to him not come out yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if someone lied to me, I don't care if they, it's great for you came out, yeah, that's great, but why did you lie to me, right? That's still not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Is there actual homophobia in their high school and whatnot?
Again, I don't know. I haven't read it. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I never will.
Any of this.
I don't trust Ant's framing of this.
Yeah,
the
only thing you can trust Ant for is to never tell you the straight and narrow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that'd be great to actually see the information. I forgot Ant's not gonna do that.
And there's always some obfuscation and deception with Ant. I wish I didn't think that about the guy, but sadly I have to, especially given the last episode where the last time we covered Jordan where he straight up withheld info. Anyway.
Simon for lying to them until they aren't. And the film ends on a happy note. This arc takes place in about the last act of the film, roughly 20 to 30 minutes. In the book, however, this sequence is the entire second half of the novel. The conflict becomes
sounds like a waste of page
much
space.
more under the surface. Familiar characters start acting different. Even positive portrayals of acceptance results in Simon feeling alienated and isolated. His friends get moody around him, some feeling a sense of betrayal, not because Simon lied to them, but because Simon didn't feel he could trust them with his secret. The relationship with his family shifts. His school treats him differently. It's realistic and messy, and at times genuinely upsetting because it feels far more real than the Hollywood glamorized film. But I also get why the changes were made in the first place. And Becky Albertalli, she was criticized for a while by readers for commodifying or appropriating queer characters, which ultimately, in order to quell the tirade of angry remarks or dismissive remarks, led to her coming out early as bisexual. In her statement, Albertalli admitted...
How much you would have bet that was just a scapegoat?
Yeah, it's basically just like a shield from, I guess, whatever these people are saying.
Oh shit, these people are mad. Let me just throw out this bullshit.
What if it's us? Oh man.
Oh no.
So, and let me help you ask yourself the question, because your premise here, or your thesis statement is, why does Hollywood do this? Why would they do this? I don't like that they do this. You just said that lady wrote a book that you said was very compelling, and people were upset on the premise that she was using gay characters without herself being gay. Do you suppose that might have anything to do with Hollywood being gun shy about being more overt, when even they're going to get attacked on one side by the people who are presumably homophobes, and on the other side by people who don't think it's good enough, who are part of the community, so to speak.
Essentially, they're in a no-win situation, more or less.
Yeah. So why would they produce that?
That is
a good question, because at the end of the film, it's about gay acceptance, or do you actually show the quote unquote cruel reality of not accepting gays? You can never win.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's a Kobayashi Maru. It's an unwinnable situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means.
Yep.
I don't understand why he'd pretend he's confused about this when this is
because he's projecting. I don't know.
Yeah.
They love to do this. This side loves to pretend they're confused by something that they don't like.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
To get clicks.
This video could be 5 seconds long, and we should make more gay art house films. And there you go.
Yeah,
that's a fine opinion. That's a fine opinion to have, but I don't know why you need to fucking intellectualize it for 30 minutes. Just say that.
Because it's Ant. Because it's Ant.
Admits.
Wow.
She felt pressured into coming out, stating,
"It's okay if you're not out.
Oh, Pookie.
It's okay if you're not ready. It's okay if you don't fully understand your identity yet."
I would like to note is that these people are their own worst enemy.
Yes.
The side is constantly just snakes waiting to eat their own tail and cannibalize each other. They literally wait to pounce. They're their own worst enemy, but they don't get it. They don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Bunch of cannibals.
Ouroboros, the snake that ate its own tail. That's Ouroboros. Yeah.
There's no time limit, no age limit, no one right way to be queer. And yet, a whole lot of these same people seem to know with absolute certainty that I was allo cishet. And the less certain I was, the more empathetically strangers felt the need to declare it. Apparently it was obvious from my writing. Simon's fine, but it was clearly written by a het. You can just tell. Her books aren't really for queer people.
And honestly, it's just kind of depressing. In a book that wrestles with the fears of coming out, she herself was forced to come out. All of this is messy and unpleasant, and also very real, and grounded in things that do happen. Obviously, Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda isn't super dark. It's still a lighthearted book, ultimately. And it's very optimistic.
Why does this have to do with your title?
I'm so confused. Why are we talking about this?
I know, why are we covering the specific topic about a story about gay teenagers?
Because Ant had to pad his video out. He got to get that ad money somehow.
I'm sorry.
We needed bad I thought we needed bad LGBTQIA representation, guys.
I felt like he was trying to make a
Homo sapien.
point
Go ahead.
that his examples were not sexual, but he has never actually said that, even though it seems like that's what he was building up to. Like, hey, there's no sex in this book, but he never outright said that. But it kind of leaves his points unfinished where he's trying to get at.
This happens so many times with him. Thanks for the Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda review. Now, where's the point of the video again?
Yeah.
All over the place.
What subjects it tackles. But the book does have a very real, very unpleasant half that got glossed over when Disney adapted it to make it safe for general audiences. However, there's a trend in more Disney-fied work, and I'm using Disney in particular for this.
You know what this reminds me of? Like this whole video. Have you seen that Wisecrack video about like Disney adapting the old Brothers Grimm fairy tales to be less grim?
It's
the same point.
Really.
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
Video.
Oh yeah,
it's
what?
the same point as in that video. Well, so the premise in that video was, we're robbing these fairy tales by making them more marketable of like their significant, message. But it's a case of, well, okay, they're adaptations and they're trying to make them more marketable because the core story of Pinocchio, even though so basically in the base Pinocchio at the end he turns back into being a puppet, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've read it, to be fair. But or like in Little Mermaid is a better example. At the end of the Hans Christian Andersen Little Mermaid, she turns into foam and she basically dies, right? Disney version, different, right?
Yes.
But the message is like the thematic conceptual focus is still the same, whether or not she lives or dies. So why is that a problem? Why is it a problem to make something more commercialized if they keep the thematic, elements intact and they're conveyed
The message is the same
as effectively? Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why is this an issue?
I don't know.
The most guilty party, where stories either commodify queer...
Hold up, hang on, I gotta go back and read this meme. You're Disney's first openly gay character. He's Disney's first openly gay character. He's Disney's first openly gay character. I'm Disney's first openly gay character. Are there any other Disney's first openly gay characters I should know about?
Representation or under...
Cut
oh
off
my god. The Owl House deserves so much better, like, seriously.
Oh yeah? Why? Why, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, because it was a really good show, and rather than, continuing to the show, for some reason Disney decided to like cut the series into like 3 like specials instead of giving us a 3rd season, like resulting in, I mean, they did the best with what they could, but at the same time, like, it definitely deserved like a lot like better. It was an actual good example of representation with like well-made, with like good characters, solid world building, good humor. Like, it was an actual
You don't
story,
see that
and
a
then
whole
they
lot
decided to like
anymore.
prematurely cut it, and they were like, "Oh wait, you mean people actually like this show? Wow, we had no idea."
Disney Honor Dominate 2025. People actually like our show. What? We didn't expect that.
Jeremy, I got nothing else to tell you about it. Speak for yourself. I hate this art style so much. Anyway.
Queer representation to prevent it from taking up too much space. Disney has, of course, produced some great examples of LGBTQIA representation, like in The Owl House. But for every Owl House...
I'm sorry, Jeremy, I'm sorry, but when I see shit like this, I'm be like, yeah, I can kind of understand why you got canceled if you got dumb moments like this happening.
Trust me, this is like one shot in a single montage. The show is not at all like this shot.
All right, I'll take your words for it, although I'm not going to watch it myself.
There comes 11 first gay characters that Disney loves touting about. And they have maybe 3 lines, their sexuality never comes up, and they're often edited out of the Saudi Arabia release. Of course, Disney isn't the sole person.
Why not China? China's the bigger... China's the bigger fucking... China's the bigger... what the hell? The bigger suspect in this. Yeah, anyway.
I mean, but they're Muslim and Arabic, so that's
funny. China,
they have like it's Haram.
funds Chinese gay media, but they censor other countries' gay media. It's funny. People should actually look into that.
I was going to say, it's so weird to bring up Saudi Arabia as an example because it's literally illegal to have those depictions there, so they couldn't if they wanted to. Like, they couldn't release the film there if they didn't cut it.
There wouldn't
Which
be
you
a
could argue
Saudi
they
Arabia
should,
release.
from the point of principle.
It's haram in their words. It's haram. That's what they call it.
Anyway.
Responsible or accountable for all these problems. After all, critics reacted to the inclusion of LGBTQIA characters in Disney media, no matter how small or insignificant.
All right, I gotta go back and read these headlines here. Hang
or
on.
accountable for all these problems.
Right.
After all, critics
1 million moms protests Toy Story 4 over dangerous lesbian scene.
reacted to the inclusion of
During a
Wait, what was the dangerous lesbian scene?
I don't know. I think
it's
it's two ladies together. I think that's it. I don't know.
I thought it was Lightyear that had that scene, not Toy Story.
I'm pretty sure Toy Story 4 did have like two ladies pushing a stroller together, like two lesbian moms. I think I might be misremembering
Which Toy Story was that? There's
Toy Story,
4 of them.
Toy Story 4.
Newest one, of course.
During a pandemic, conservatives are protesting gay ducks in Disney's DuckTales.
LGBTQA
Oh,
characters.
come on.
Yeah.
In Disney.
1 million moms protests Disney Channel's Good Luck Charlie for lesbian characters.
Media.
Yeah.
No matter how
I
small.
watched that show. I don't even remember that.
No. Christian hate group is now accusing Disney of indoctrinating children with the LGBT plus agenda.
Small or insignificant.
Wow.
Never would they talk about Muslims.
Well, they all do this. It's the same as like the commentocracy, like on the Jim Sterling show. It's like, oh, look at these random freaks on the internet. It's like, yeah, they exist. We know. You don't have to care about them, dude. Fine.
1 million
Just
moms
move on with your
claims
day.
Disney is promoting sin to children with gay lead character and out.
B. Consider the
That's what I was gonna say. The thing about this,
To be honest, that
people
makes
doing
sense.
this are the minority, and people they look at them like they're foolish.
To be fair,
brainwashing, honestly.
to be fair, Disney is a company that mainly appeals to children, and so when they put this in in films for children, it's like, yeah, it's kind of understandable that some parents would be upset because they don't think that their kids are ready to learn about this stuff yet. Anyway,
It's kind of like brainwashing in a sense, though.
Yes.
Like, they're so young.
like of course we don't have a problem with it because we're older and we can handle this stuff. But you gotta remember, it's like most of these
Right.
films are made for youngsters, like preschoolers, kindergartners, elementary schoolers, early
Which
middle
is why I'm
schoolers,
calling
even
it brainwashing. The
Yes.
demographic is like little baby children.
To be fair, again, I was just trying to devil advocate this a little bit. The argument I think from Anne's preference would be in something like even the original Toy Story 2, right? It's fine to have at least, if not outright, suggestions towards heterosexual romance, but once it's homosexual, these people get upset, right?
Mhm.
That's probably
I
what
still
he's going
don't
for.
understand why he titled the video the way he did, other than clips.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. And to be
Yeah.
fair, the answer
Thank
answer to this question, it could be they might find any romance objectionable, right? Like, you don't know these people, and moreover, these are just random people. This is gonna happen. I'm sorry, we live in the real world. People have different opinions. I know it's scary, but
it's real scary. Disney's Lightyear controversy is more ridiculous than you think.
backlash
All
that
right.
Lightyear received for a brief sequence where two women kiss in the background of a shot. It eclipsed all of the
wasn't a
discussion
background.
surrounding the rest of this relatively
Nobody
mediocre,
saw
not
it.
that
It's in
great
the
film.
background.
I mean, more people talk.
I mean, enough people saw it to complain about it, though. So
Yeah, I don't even know what the
movie was
hell
bad
happened.
anyway.
I haven't
Like,
seen it.
I'm,
Okay.
I'm trying to remember because that film fucking sucked.
I saw that movie with my cousin. It was terrible.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, wasn't Lightyear Buzz? I mean, wasn't he
Yes.
checking up on him, and then they just were like kissing or some shit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like,
they had a kiss after they landed, I think, or something, if I remember it correctly.
Dude.
Talked about the kiss, and talked about the dumb twist with Zurg. So, what does that tell you?
Misconstruing.
Oh my god, yeah, the twist was so dumb.
Misconstruing.
yes.
The reality is simply this: a company focused on profit and thus aims to make as much money as possible, and bigots are a demographic.
Same as Target.
Bigots are a demographic.
Same as every other business model, every other business.
If their complaint was profitability and they don't want to market to bigots, why include it at all? Wouldn't it simply be safer to omit it entirely? Why do you suppose they're doing it?
Seriously.
Why not tell?
Unless of a financial risk.
It's such a weird argument. It's like, oh, that you know,
the way he says it is weird.
They're a market.
Like they're a market and they want to make money, and bigots are a demographic, so they aren't including it at all. It's like, no, they have it. They just have it in a safe way.
Why not just sell them pitchforks and torches?
So you're not doing it in terms of like, you know, trying to convince or persuade these filmmakers, possibly, or these aspiring filmmakers that are watching this video, and you're not really doing a great elevator pitch. It's like, look at Lightyear. They had one scene and it didn't even make money, and people were upset. It's like, oh, that doesn't really encourage me to make that kind of film. Of course, we know the reality is Lightyear didn't make money because it was shit. But
yes.
You know.
Yep.
Frustrating.
I never watched it.
Oh.
Thank God I never
Good.
watched it.
I saw it like
God,
a long.
Good, yeah, very good, yeah.
It was
It's-
kind of an.
It's like they'd rather complain about the lesbian kiss than the dumb plot twist. It's like, and they can complain about both, you know. Anyway.
Also, no one watched the movie, so why would they know
Yeah,
about
I
it?
mean, to be fair, yeah, I didn't know about the lesbian kiss because I fell asleep halfway through the movie.
Yeah, you missed it.
I mean, the surface is way worse.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Businesses can rely on bigots to send them money more than they can rely on LGBTQIA people, because when you do representation wrong, you lose the audience.
Wrong, yeah.
Yeah.
I love how he said send them money, not buy their products, send them money.
Yeah, he didn't say buy their goods and services.
Like
You're
I'm
right.
like
He
I'm
said
sorry,
send.
Ant. Are the bigots sending the money in freaking envelopes through the mail to Disney?
What are you trying to say? What exactly are you trying to say? Bigots are closeted? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he's saying like
Yeah,
bigots
no,
are
one thing about
like
him
his.
is
I don't
he
know. I guess
speaks a certain way.
I
He
guess it's-
deliberately speaks the way he speaks.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. He does. He knows what he's doing 100%. He's just doing it on purpose. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
I called him Ant-Man. Holy shit! Ant, here's a question for you. Which do you think made more money? Do you think that Arcane season 1 made more money, or the Northman? Like,
I saw the Northman. Wait,
I think it's
no.
really good.
I saw the Green
Northman-
Knight. I saw the Green Knight, actually. I saw the
Northman is
Green
one of my
Knight.
favorite movies of all time. But
Yeah.
the fact is, it was a historically accurate period piece with
Right.
that's theoretically supposed to appeal to like the right wing people because it didn't have any
Vikings,
diversity elements,
yeah.
that sort of thing, right? And that film didn't make a lot of money because it was an art house film. Like
Yes.
you can make money with LGBTQ stuff if it's a broad appeal thing, and you will lose money with conservative stuff or like the quote unquote bigot approved stuff if it's an art house film.
Right.
Like, why is this so difficult?
But I don't understand when you say bigots are.
Also, Arcane's demographic is so much bigger than the Northmen because it's
Yeah.
marketed to gamers, specifically people who like or wanted to get into League of Legends.
Gamers, LOL players, people who like who
Anime,
like
fucking anime.
Yeah, people like that. People who like high fantasy
Otaku.
crap. Just has more appeal there. Anyway.
Loses faith.
Definitely.
Consider the backlash that occurred when Blizzard revealed their diversity chart that they used to determine if a character was diverse enough.
this.
Yes.
That's so fucking stupid to do in the first place.
Also, did Odlin's Out make this Fanbyte Media's PFP right there? Looks like his art
No,
style.
I'm serious. That is such a
does kinda,
pointless thing. That is such a pointless thing to do for
Yes.
a company to do.
Yes. Anyway.
For release in Overwatch. Audiences in the LGBTQA population saw that as kind of commodifying. Companies want those bigots' money, but they also want rainbow bucks. And rainbow bucks come in when you put in the little gay catnip to draw in the queer crowd during Pride Month. And then never after again.
Like that, Ed?
Why is he? I was just thinking. Why is he talking like that? I was just thinking the same thing.
He's trying to make us look bad.
It's like you're trying. No, he's trying to make the. I don't fucking know. He's trying to do something.
Bucks, the rainbow.
What are you trying to? What are you trying to say? Andy? What are you trying to do?
Guys, the central groundbreaking premise of Ant's argumentation is eluding you here, all right? His point is that companies want to make money and will market stuff to people selectively to make money.
And that's like literally
crazy.
That's what we're saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
think
it
that's a surprise. I know that might come as a shock to all of you, but companies actually want to make money, actually.
One thing that really got me, he can't stay on the point of
Businesses
needing
have a
bad
business model.
representation, but
Yeah.
the other main point he's trying to make is about something that everybody already knows. It's weird.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
I thought he was
He's going
gonna
about it in
use
such a
fake
roundabout
currency.
way that he's making it sound like his point is something. His point is valid, or that he has a point in some way. But the title of his video still hasn't been properly represented.
Well, I think the point he's trying to make, if I was to be super charitable, is that he thinks that it's regrettable that companies market to gay people as they do, or as they do to anyone else, selectively with specific types of medium to get people in. Much the same way as, like I said, with the Northman is probably going to have an appeal to a particular group of people, so a studio makes that film or produces that film because they hope to get money from that group of people.
Why go about it in such a roundabout way, though? Like 30 minutes of
because he needs to justify why he hates capitalism, dude.
Because Ant is trying to Smeckledorf us anyway.
And that's why we need bad LGBTQIA.
Yeah, why does it need to be bad? That's what I want to know.
We went from John Walters to Love Simon, and then now this shit.
Yeah, I really don't understand his main argument. This is all over the place.
It's so bad.
I swear to God, if Ant reveals that he had a co-writer on this script, I'm gonna flip out.
I'm gonna throw up if I find out that I'm gonna throw up.
It's like you had 2 people on this script and you made it this fucking jumbled. Anyway,
it's so convoluted and complicated when it doesn't need to be anything like that.
Yes. Anyway,
what the heck?
Again, of course,
he's bouncing around like a rubber ball.
All right, let's continue here.
Right, okay.
And of course, because we get scraps from the table. You'd think by doing the bare minimum, maybe people will get wise to what they're doing, and many have, but they still turn a profit from delivering a bare minimum to the target demographic.
Yeah, it's fairly to do with bad representation.
Wait, what targeted demographic?
The gays.
The
gays?
Disney targeted, the Disney one, I guess. I don't know.
The Disney gays.
The Disnoids. Anyway.
Can we see the evidence?
Please.
You better have some numbers, Ant. You better have some numbers.
Show me the numbers. What's the profit? What are we talking about?
Where are the numbers, Mason? Anyway.
Apparently, you see how they treated Nimona.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I've never
fucking movie.
I've never.
This movie was.
I've never heard of this either. What is this?
My family forced me to watch this bullshit.
So the basic premise is she's like a weird demon girl that can transform, and that the country hates her. It's an incredibly stupid movie.
And the guy is gay, right?
Looks like a lower budget series, not a movie.
It was a Netflix original, I'm pretty sure.
Also, no, not Andy Stevenson, no.
Who's
She-Ra? Fucking She-Ra. He's talking about She-Ra at the end of this one.
Not that piece of shit.
That movie, by the way, was based on a book.
Who's Andy?
Google.
It was. Yeah.
Google her. She's a piece of shit author. Anyway.
Yes.
Andy Stevenson's Nimona is an award-winning graphic novel.
If it's award-winning, then she did not earn that award on the fact that she's Andy Stevenson. No.
I would like to direct everyone's attention to the award-winning Suicide Squad. It won awards for costume making. All right, fucking everything's award-winning these days. It doesn't mean anything.
I love your point.
Yeah, it means nothing, especially for books. Books, they all just get awards.
Michael,
they're all like on top sellers lists. And
Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor is his only Oscar win, and it's for sound design.
And the award for those two.
Anyway,
I won an award at the science fair once in 7th grade. I mean, does that count?
Anyway,
that Stevenson worked on while coming to terms with his trans.
This bitch right here is Andy Stevenson.
Is that a guy or a girl?
It's a guy. It's a guy.
I don't even think she knows.
I don't even know. I don't know. She doesn't. Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean,
anyway, moving on.
In queer identity.
Why are you wearing that? Come on.
I don't know. Oh, this art is bad.
I feel like I need to uplift my fucking.
If that got an award for the art, then, dude, I mean, I got an award in the science fair when I was 13. What the fuck does it matter?
Jarvis.
I wasn't even 13. I was younger, but whatever.
Independent Western comic syndrome strikes again.
How did
Right?
Netflix?
Isn't that right, Luck Pup?
How did Netflix improve on this? Holy shit!
Thank God they did.
If this wins,
There's a
if
lot
this
to how
won an
this movie
award,
got off the ground. It was a very rocky ride.
if this won an award, Jarvis, pull up Hellboy, please. Can we compare actual good artwork to this shit?
Yeah. Can we pull up some Alex Ross, some George Perez, some fucking Neil Adams? Yeah.
Fucking anyone who can draw, you know?
Yes.
Jarvis, increase ball size.
The original graphic novel is messy in a way that lends itself to painful self-reflection. Stevenson himself...
Oh, yeah, guys, hang on. Yeah, you can just feel the self-reflection in this art, can't you?
Growing a new head, a new brain. This is even still you.
Reflection. Stevenson himself has discussed his history growing up in a conservative household and how that affected his development.
Oh no,
as a
the
person.
conservative household.
Oh, Pookie. Anyway.
The rebel.
Pookie. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Let me guess, religious trauma too?
How is this relevant?
I think so, right?
Relevant to the video? I'm so confused.
Who knows?
Because we need bad LGBTQI XYZ mutation.
Up, down, left, right, hold B, hold BA, hold start.
And
Start, select.
Like the
this is
contra cheat
all
code,
of his writing.
I'm saying this is wrong. They've been lying to us, manipulating us. Hordak, Shadow Weaver, all of them. Duh! Did you just figure that out?
If you're only familiar...
Also, remember when She-Ra actually looked like a woman back in the 80s? Those were great.
I loved the original She-Ra as a kid. When they came out with this, I first saw her design, I was like, what did you guys do? What is this?
What is this Tumblr bullshit?
Why is it Dayra?
Why is it He-Ra? Yeah. She-Ra legit looks like a 12-year-old boy. Anyway.
Yeah, with long hair.
Yeah, anyway.
It's just He-Man.
It's He-Ra, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, He-Man.
With Nimona, thanks to the film, I highly recommend reading the graphic novel, since it also embodies the core thesis of this video, that we need more problematic...
The core thesis of this video? What is that again?
What thesis? We're still looking for it!
To lay it out. He's about
The
to
thesis that we need bad LGBTQIA representation, which is why he's not making that same point. I don't fucking know. He's crazy.
I feel like Ant's confusing the idea of...
He's not getting to his point, you know?
The thesis. What was it again?
He makes points he thinks are building up to his main points, but they really don't.
Yeah,
they don't. It's kind of
this is like exactly what I'm thinking.
This is one of the most aimless video essays I've ever seen.
It's the Ant classic. It's the bring up a concept and then talk about a random piece of art for no reason other than to show off you have seen it, and then move on as if the point's been proven.
Hey, Ant, why don't you take a page out of Monty Python's book and get on with it? Yes, get on with it! Get on with it!
No, he has taken Backseat, except it's the wrong one. He's taken it from, and now for something completely different.
Right.
Anyway, moving on.
See queer characters, front and center, who are not moral bastions of hope, but sometimes just bad. Ballister is more of a calculating villain and less of a noble man thrust into bad circumstances. And Nimona isn't just a metal punk in the graphic novel, but actually a genuinely ruthless gremlin who isn't just misunderstood, but actually a menace.
How lame this is compared to the anime adaptation, whatever.
Yes.
I feel like the problem with the title is it's not really about... You can have a character that's still like a bad character, like moral wise, and they can still be like a good character to like enjoy. The problem isn't
I get it.
The problem is like bad characters in terms of them being a bad character, not like a morally bad character. This is like a really...
When he says bad character, is he saying morally absent character, like bad or like villainous, or like you're not meant to like? I think he means
like we need more dickish gay characters. Yeah.
I think
he's saying we need more...
Go ahead.
Like on the woke side, there's some people who believe that bad representation is like, oh, just bad stereotypes. But there's some that believe that, oh, bad representation is if you make them villains and evil, but good representation is if you make them good. I feel like he's trying to actually, the title would suggest he's trying to address people in his own circle that think the other way, but he's talking about, oh, the bigots and stuff. So
I don't know. But I'm still confused on bad character, like the wording of that. Is he talking about badly written, poorly written, or like someone that you're not meant to like?
I think he means the latter.
Or are they imperfect, right? They're more...
The conundrum for him seems to be, why can't we have more like LGBT characters like John Constantine, for example? But he's just answered his own question in the previous section, because the bigots flip out and the part of the community you're trying to appeal to also flip out. So why the fuck would you do that? Like, it's
just very slow.
Anyway,
they're amazing. They're my favorite. Now, that's not to say that Nimona as a film isn't messy or overtly queer. It certainly is, and in more ways than one. But
what's the problem?
The moral ambiguity of the original graphic novel is removed, as is the legitimate harm caused by Nimona and Ballister. It's also a testament to Stephen.
A lot of adaptations have.
Film adaptation of a book in general.
Writer, that you fall in love with genuine villains who genuinely want to do harm, something that would carry over into Stevenson's later work, She-Ra, in regards to the character of Catra.
You'd rather I left you there to die?
Oh my god. Now look, Pub, you've seen She-Ra. How accurate is Catra in this show to the original?
Catra isn't even really a thing in the original. The original She-Ra is way different. They changed a lot and added a lot of stuff to the new She-Ra. It's pretty much not even the same show at all now. I don't really like the new She-Ra. That's not even a criticism of it. It's just a lot of this stuff is not even really a thing in the old She-Ra, and what was like just barely a thing.
So they're basically just using the IP to do their own shit, really.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Kind of funny. This is coming from somebody who's only had relations with other women, not what's a bigoted straight person, but okay.
I know you all hate me! I never hated you!
I told you.
But let's focus on Nimona for now. Blue Sky Studios was working on Nimona, and they did commodify some elements, shifting it, making it a little more sanitized. Ballister and Nimona, as I mentioned before, go from chaotic gremlins to misunderstood gremlins, with a little bit of chaos thrown in. They're more mega-mind than Catra. However, at no point did Blue Sky Studios compromise the queer text of the story. If anything, they refocus it, moving away from the not fitting in society and more into finding self-acceptance with those already on the outside, directly confronting the mainstream standards for their self-contradictory restrictions.
Because once everyone sees you as a villain, that's what you are. They only see you one way, no matter how hard you try.
Kind of like them saying.
You gave it a good shot, though. I gotta hand it to you.
Rather than wrestling with oneself, they wrestle with society. It is society that is wrong, not the individual. And I believe that reflected on Stevenson's own personal journey.
Something about it seems so much bigger than me.
Oh god, who'd you get to voice this? It sounds like they have like a nasal cavity problem. Literally sounds like that's sounds like that, like it's stereotypical verb was like something about it seems so much bigger than me. Ugh.
The comic was coming from this pain and the fear and the anger that I had in my heart at that time. But all of those seeds seem to have grown in that time and through this movie. It feels like I'm being taken along for the ride of this movie and maybe set a spark all these years ago that I didn't know I was setting. And now it's something that has grown and continues to grow.
Blue Sky Studio was owned by 20th Century Fox, who were then bought out by Disney. At the time of Disney's purchase of Fox, Nimona was about 75% complete, roughly. So Disney, naturally, with a new original film on their laps, chose to cancel the film. The project was eventually salvaged and became one of the biggest animated hits on Netflix.
Source.
And was even nominated for an Academy Award.
Well, maybe it was pretty
Ironically,
popular.
Yeah, so popular I've never heard of it. Here comes. Here's Wish.
Disney's animated film that year. Wish.
I'm gonna look for it on Netflix right now.
Wish was terrible though. Beating Wish is not a high accomplishment. Wish was an awful movie.
Yes.
You know what? It's on Netflix to stream, but I never knew about it. I've never heard of it before. I
never heard a word about it.
I was just gonna say, being popular on Netflix is not a big fucking achievement, I'd say.
Wasn't the most known marketing thing around Wish just how fucking stupid the concept is? Like that was that's the only thing people know about that movie.
Ever knew it was from people ripping on it.
Yeah.
It's from Disney's 100th anniversary special. They pump out this shit. Come on, I could make something better than that.
Did anybody watch it?
Moment.
Well, the controversy with Wish is the plot line is basically the guy's like a king who gathers people's wishes and he only fulfills some of them which he thinks are good, and the girl is like, well, why didn't you just let the people have the wishes, because some people might wish for bad shit, so he's like, I'm not going to fulfill that, and she's like, why can't you give it to them so they can pursue it on their own? It's like, because if someone wishes for genocide, I don't want to give them the opportunity to actually do it, you idiot.
Yes.
That's why. That's the concept of the movie. Like, everyone was dunking on it for that. It was
I wish blind people had sight for 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Anyway.
Not get nominated for anything.
So cool, we're famous.
You've got to be kidding me.
What?
I love us.
Oscar race.
Clearly,
really?
there's an appetite.
Yeah. Again, Ant. It's really it's nothing special if it gets nominated for an Oscar anymore. We proved that earlier. Anyway,
For legitimate representation outside of the sanitized version that Disney and other companies like Disney deliver us. There's a reason She-Ra did so well and remains a favorite among queer audiences, despite receiving continuous backlash from right-wing critics. And it did quite well, regardless of that.
Do you actually talk to these queer audiences?
Mm-hmm. Did you talk with these right-wing critics, Ant?
No, yeah, that's true.
Never, yes.
No.
But they'll be the types of people that if you say anything, they demand a million sources.
Yeah. Also, Gingaman, hello there.
Are you recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh,
Anyway, moving on.
Besides, frankly, they weren't the target demographic anyway. It was always families, younger audiences, and the older queer adults who didn't grow up with representation in the media outside of, again, Sailor Moon.
Okay, well, this guy's a really big Sailor Moon yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, this guy brings up Sailor Moon a lot.
Yes, all right, again.
That's the third time, I think.
And I hate to keep hammering this point home, but again, children's and families, it's like they outnumber those gay people by a fucking lot, okay? And if they feel that this film is inappropriate, and if they feel that this film is inappropriate for their children, they're not going to take them to see it. Deal with it, all right? It's like
I think a lot of what.
How hard is it for just leftoids like Ant to understand that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is also goes into like whether something is right or wrong or not or should happen is not a factor in some things. It's just if it's going to happen or not,
Yeah. And again, and freaking Ant, okay, and this is pretty much the reason why shit like She-Ra, Steven Universe, and whatnot, they were more popular with like older teens than they were their target audience of children, right? Like Steven Universe's target demo was like 8 to 12. I don't know any 8 to 12-year-olds who saw that shit growing up. So, and I keep on, I go to church every Sunday, and my church has a lot of kids in that age demo. None of them were watching it. So yeah.
Right.
Anyway, moving on.
Oh, great. Why do you think they've entered the contest? They're girls and cousins, too.
And Catra is.
Wait, what the hell was that?
What?
That's the lesbian flag, right?
Is that from Sailor Moon?
That was Sailor Moon, yeah, but this is the lesbian flag.
This is the lesbian flag.
In the dub, they changed it to cousins.
Yeah, they changed
original.
Uranus and Neptune into cousins. Yeah. Anyway.
And Catra is a messy character, complicated, whose arc is toxic and goes back and forth a few times in terms of whether it's positive or negative growth.
From what I've heard about Catra, she's just written inconsistently. It's not complex and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just changes how she acts with little regard.
She flip-flops every episode like a goddamn Libra. Yeah. Anyway.
She does awful things to people close to her, and yet there's still a core humanity to her character that audiences were drawn to.
Don't care.
It's interesting. It's valid, because that's how life is.
Valid.
Not everyone is a
that's how life
squeaky clean
is.
hero. Some people make mistakes, and some people double down
Like
on those
you making
mistakes,
this fucking video.
becoming incredibly toxic to be around. That's a human story. And it's a compelling story, especially for an antagonist.
Sounds like a real bad. Well, not for She-Ra though.
No.
Oh
for
my god.
She-Ra.
Clownfish.
She-Ra's not the antagonist.
Clownfish TV's fucking videos covering that show prove it.
But likewise, it's
The one
just as
thing I would say is if he is saying that we need more LGBT characters that are messy and toxic in this way, there is a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a
There's
lot of
more
them.
than I've seen.
No, he's
ones
trying
that
to
are
dance around his
just
point as though he has one, but he's not going to make his point throughout the entire video.
Like I could say that about every fucking gay character on the CW's Batwoman, and I wouldn't call any of them good. Not good.
They're really not well written. They're horrible characters.
If you want more messy, like grimdarky, media,
Just read
or
the
even
original.
just like more serious media with gay characters, it exists. Read The First Law, watch Legend, read Hellblazer. There's a lot of media like that. You just need to find it. I'm sorry. And you probably won't find it. And you probably won't find it in the mainstream, because how many mainstream fucking gritty things are there in general? And
I still don't even know if he's for that or against that. Like, what's his fucking point this whole video?
He's for that, but he seems to he seems to take umbrage with the fact that there's a lot of gay representation made by companies, and that representation isn't gritty. Which
I think
it's never gonna be.
Yeah, no, Ant, no. Deal with it or cry about it. Those are your two options here, and it seems to be he's crying about it. So anyway.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones was the fucking biggest TV show ever. It has plenty of gay characters who are grimdark.
Yeah.
And they're well written.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always be better. And you can always try to make amends, though of course, it will be hard sometimes for those you hurt to accept you.
You try so hard to play the big, bad villain, but your heart's never been in it, has it? What do you... Stop!
The other impact of these sanitized queer characters is that the media presents a narrative. Not simply that LGBTQIA people are all good, but that they are all morally just.
Wait, what, Jeremy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember I've heard of this movie. I think I kind of remember this movie, Red, White, and Royal Blue. I think I saw some people review it. It's whatever.
The sanitized queer story to appeal to bigots. Anyway.
From what I've heard, this was basically made for women who want to see gay men.
Yeah.
Like 90% of other gay media is kind of.
Yeah.
Isn't that what yaoi is for?
Yeah.
One of those dudes actually played the prince in that awful Amazon Prime Cinderella movie.
Oh god.
I guess that's a career trajectory and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defined way to be queer is to be acceptable, to be beautiful, to fit into society's standards as to what counts as good. And while there are cases like Nimona and the work of Stevenson at large that reject that normalcy,
I'm
Disney...
so sorry. And isn't the most commonly associated literary trope with any LGBT people like the devil may care, I'll pay for it tomorrow hedonist? I think you'll find far more of those kinds of characters in in books and media, then you'll find the sanitized versions, because those only came across recently. That other ones existed for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a point. He's got a good point.
And other corporations are selling you a version of queer identity that is acceptable to heteronormative society. It is pandering, yes, but it's pandering designed to make you buy into a product, because people generally want to watch media where they like the protagonists, and companies realize that if they stray too far from heteronormativity, mainstream audiences may reject the queer identity of the characters in question, or, as they so often love to say, feel as though something is being shoved down their throats. So often, critics...
Okay, Ant, ask, why do they feel like they're being shoved down their throats, Ant? Because it's like
they're shoving it down our throats.
You show Doctor Who and frickin' Super Mario Brothers there, and those are shows that by and large don't really do this stuff most of the time, so...
I reject this entire premise. Ant, which do you think is a more well-known LGBT character? The fucking Jane Rando who got kissed in Lightyear, or Lestat du Lyoncourt?
Yes.
Like from Interview with a Vampire, which do you think is more popular? I'll give you 10 seconds.
He's being deceptive. He's being deceptive on purpose.
It's like, oh yeah,
intentional.
Media get upset.
It's like I said at the beginning. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. And I said in the beginning, it's the same.
QA media get upset if representation isn't 100% perfect, while critics of the concept of representation entirely are angry if they're even told it exists at all. By trying to appeal to both demographics, they appeal to no one. In order to accommodate those critics, the characters are made safe, accessible. But quite frankly, appealing to these negative critics won't do much good. Last year, targets around the country were targeted by bigots because of their Pride merch shelves. Many people just flat out lied about the types of products provided, especially for kids. So it didn't matter what Target actually did. People were going to get mad, even if they had to lie about it. And Target...
guys, just random question. Do you think Ant believes queer kids exist?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
And if you think they exist, God help you. Jesus H. Christ.
Also, I have to go early tonight. I have to go right now because I got to make dinner, and then I have to go down to watch The Cats.
All right. Yeah. We'll see.
That's the movie, right?
Beautiful.
No, I have to watch The Cats for my sister because she's out of town. God. So I got to go to her apartment and help her watch. Bye.
Watch those kitties instead of watching the other kinds of kitties. No, if you get what I'm saying.
Played by James Gordon.
Oh my god.
All right. Bye, Noah.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Moving on.
Targeted. They were threats on the employees, on the buildings, on the owners.
Okay.
So yeah, of course they were concerned. This was a serious thing.
They really. My opinion,
people who are actively.
Go ahead, No, go ahead.
The people who are actively making threats and stuff is a small minority and are generally looked at as fools by most people, even people who don't like LGBT. However, these same people like Ant, they will say that whenever something is done bad that involves LGBTO, which is a small minority, but they have their own excuses, but when the other side can use the same one, genuinely, they ignore it.
Yeah.
People were upset about stuff. People were upset, and some people took umbrage with stuff being marketed to children. Whoa, dude! I guess it just must be a day that ends in Y. I don't fucking know.
Also, and I seriously doubt any Target employees are in danger because of those threats. Like most threats are just hot air to begin with. Like if someone said like, "Oh, Backseat, you fucking kill yourself because you made this video right here," I'm like, "No, okay, bro, come at me." Come at me, bro.
You think he would have shown news articles about it?
Yeah. He's shown news articles before. Why not? Ant, where are the news articles?
Do you think the Target employees have it bad? Wait till you find out about the Waffle House employees, my guy. Like...
I absolutely despise when these people, and these people do this all the time, act like all threats, especially online threats, or just saying you wish somebody would die is something that people need to be scared of. It's such a serious threat, guys. They all do this. It's
oh
so
no! Words over the internet. Anyway.
I would love to see Ant cue a game of Defense of the Ancients #2 and watch some fucker tell him to go hang himself in Russian. It'd be the funniest shit ever.
He'll be like, anyway, he's like, and then when he comes back, he's like, where are all the gay characters in Dota 2? Anyway.
Easy for us to say as the target demographic that they shouldn't have buckled to pressure. They had to consider the lives of their employees as well. The problem is that this emboldened a lot.
Yeah, dude, like most fucking Target employees are like, I want to fucking die, bro. Like, just let the fucking angry customers kill me. I don't want to work here anymore.
You'd be doing me a favor at that point. Fuck me.
Also, someone needs to take. I've said this before, but someone needs to take away Ant's Pokemon plushies. I fear for their safety.
Do you reckon he bought the big God of War one that came out recently?
Oh no, he bought a big ass Dragonite one. I know that. This was made because he put it up later. No. He bought knowing the fact that he loves Lance, he wants to fuck Lance. It's like He bought the Dragonite. Because remember, in that video, he loved the Dragonite more than Lance.
Yeah. He specifically said he wants Lance for the Dragonite. That's like, I don't know, man.
Anyway,
I'm really interested in what that black book is. That's like censored. It looks like it's Berserk, but
Berserk. It is Berserk. That is Berserk. The one below the Mantine. That's Berserk.
Did you already know if he made a video on Berserk?
I don't know.
He mentions it. He mentions it constantly in extremely hyper malappropriated ways.
Yes. Not once, but twice. Anyway.
The nationalists into seeing that their method nationalists the lives of their employees as well. The problem is that this emboldened a lot of nationalists into seeing that their methods were successful. But
oh, really? Where's the news article on that, Ant?
Wait,
and what does this have to do with
what nationalists?
Yeah, what are the hundreds of interviews from this?
Fuck.
We're 18 minutes.
Nationalists? What was he talking about?
It emboldened a lot of nationalists.
This would be the death threats over the LGBTQ stuff. Why the fuck would the nationalists give a fuck about that? I thought nationalists give a shit about like nationalism,
yes.
LGBTQ issues primarily.
Yes. They're all right. Okay.
Did he mean national socialists? I don't.
I can believe Nazis doing that. Yes. Anyway.
Kind of like tomato. You know, they're just interchangeable.
Even the initial intent was flawed to begin with. You're trying to appeal to two demographics, and one of them is a group that will never be happy if you're appealing to the first.
Okay, guys. How much do we really agree with this notion that they're trying to appeal to two demographics at once? Because I doubt that premise really all that much. No.
I think any sensible business that's large and worth its salt is trying to appeal to a whole bunch of people with a variety of different products. So I don't know why he would even bring up this point. It's like, they're trying to appeal to two different demographics. It's like, well, yeah, in everything. Like, do you think? Wait, here's a question, Ant. If a store sells vegan products and meat, are they also torn because they're appealing to two different demographics? Because my local Tesco's does that. I'll promise you.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
If you try to appeal to bigots, you will never satisfy the LGBTQ audience. And if you try to appeal to LGBTQA audiences, you'll never appeal to the bigots.
And he's acting as if there isn't some golden middle ground where we can both be happy over this. It's like...
That's why businesses add in the over-sanitized random LGBT stuff as possible, trying to cast the widest net possible, even if just for attention and not necessarily initial money up front, by all but dancing around the people who don't like it by keeping it very sanitized and minimal. A lot of the so-called bigots, like, they wouldn't watch a movie that's gay focused, but if they, I don't know, just added smaller stuff in there, they would still watch it, and the LGBT people would be like, oh, this is a win. They know that.
How big is this? I think kind of this is what you were getting at earlier, Backseat. How big is the sample size really of people who will definitively not watch something because it has LGBT people in it? Like actually truly bigoted people who are just like, no, I hate this. I will not watch it. Like, I guess you wouldn't even necessarily call them bigots. Maybe that, like, it's a small audience. So why is this the dichotomy? It's every LGBTQ person and then the bigots. Surely you should be contrasting the LGBT people who are not cool with this, like, who agree with you are not cool with the more sanitized representation, full stop, and then the bigots. You're comparing two very disparate sample sizes here. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
They're contradictory. And as a result, you fail to make either demographic happy. This is the curse of rainbow capitalism. It's better to fully embrace one side or the other.
Rainbow capitalism?
Of course, it's not just media that's sanitizing queer content.
Rainbow capitalism is the idea that you, like, market stuff towards gay people, but it's like, so it's mainly a socialist thing, but it's like the idea that capitalism tries to mask itself into LGBT communities by pandering to them with, like, pro-gay, like with pride flags and that sort of thing.
But is that good or bad?
Right? Well, he thinks it's bad, I guess. I mean, he thinks it's bad because presumably he doesn't like it. That's kind of what his whole tirade earlier was about.
So is it bad that gay people have their own ways of making money and whatnot for
Presumably,
their own community?
Yes. Presumably, yes.
But we need more gay representation. Or I guess we need more bad.
We need more representation of gay people that is edgy, is pretty much his point, seems to be. Yeah.
Funny because, like, I feel like based on his title, you would think that maybe he's trying to speak to those people that are woke, but think that any rep of a character that's like gay villain is bad rep. But in the actual video, he's talking about the bigots.
And literally no one thinks of bad gay representation when you say that. Nobody thinks of edgy, like, when you say, oh, that's a bad gay representation, nobody thinks of John Constantine as a bad bi representation. They think of, like, fucking, what's their faces from the Willow Disney series, because they make lesbians look ridiculous.
Yes. Literally everyone in that show. There you go.
Yeah, like, he's using the terms wrong, I think. I would say.
Anyway.
Absolutely.
Social media is too. YouTube's ad-friendly content often restricts how explicit your material can be. TikTok is so sanitized, people can't even discuss the concept of death without sounding like a Disney afternoon character. People are forced to commodify themselves in order to appeal to others, and are forced to conform to the sanitized imagery YouTube and TikTok promotes. That is not a criticism of the platform. I think it's good that we don't have necessarily some very vile stuff on here, but it does seem strange.
You should have seen some of the shit that they had a fucking cartel execution on TikTok.
Yeah.
That was fucking crazy. Holy shit. If you think that they placed that ban for a reason, that's why.
How a lot of anti-LGBTQA content can go unrestricted, while pro-LGBTQA content often does and historically has been restricted. We are fed a commercialized version.
Again, it's because because YouTube cares way too much about kids that they don't realize that their platform is used by everyone.
Do you remember, like, the time, I don't remember if it was 2010 or something, but, like, when they first introduced the whole, if you make any content that's, like, marketed towards children in any capacity and is explicitly, like, a kids thing, even, like, clips from TV shows, like the Spider-Man shows, for example, it can't have comments, it can't make any money, like, it's because of law.
Yeah.
And, like, if you're making kids content on YouTube, sorry, they're not going to let you monetize it because there's some legal statute that, like, would mean they would have to be, like, additionally taxed on it or something.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with politics. It's purely to do with legislature.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's to do with politics, but it's, it's not Disney being biased. YouTube being biased against those things.
Yeah.
In our art and in our life. all in order to market an expression of identity that's safe enough not to offend the people who are so easily offended that 11 frames in a Lightyear movie results in months of rage. But this also isn't a new phenomenon.
You can eat shit for all I care, Miss Sandstone.
I mentioned John Waters and Divine before. I focused on Waters' subversive writing, but not...
Oh, yeah, remember that? It was like 50 years ago? We talked about that?
Yeah, remember that shit.
It all comes around.
Here we go, folks. Queer-coded villains.
On Divine. Remember I mentioned Ursula?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
so Divine
my god. Oh my god.
See it now, Eric?
And before he mentions like Frieza or Orochimaru, the most gay-looking villains ever, I guess.
Also, Ursula isn't gay. What the hell are you on about? She's just a flamboyant fat bitch. Anyway.
No, she's gay now.
Physical inspiration for the Little Mermaids, Ursula.
One of the funnest facts about The Little Mermaid, I think, has to do with Ursula. I think one of her original inspirations was Divine from John Waters' Flamingos.
Kill everyone now! Let's get some!
So that's what that guy thinks. That's not like an actual source. Why are we bringing that up?
I mean, I'm pretty sure the guys who made the original Little Mermaid said, yeah, we based Ursula off Divine. I think they did say that.
So show that. No, my point
are
is
you
show
sure,
that.
though?
Why would you, well, no. If it was the case, that's it could very well be true. But why show that guy saying it? What credibility does he have? Why not just show a snippet of them, like the creators saying
Also, Ursula being based off of a dude in makeup and a dress does not mean Ursula herself is like that. Okay, Ant, do you understand that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Based off does not equate to coded as. Now, these two examples I gave before, they are very obviously not meant to be coded as gay, but like Frieza and Orochimaru come off as very gay to most people, and so that could be an example. However, I forgot what I was even going to say. It's not defending. Oh, I was about to say people that they look gay. People think that, oh, they look gay, they act gay. Who would ever have it in their minds that, oh, Ursula is this or that or trans? Nobody.
Like Betty Boop Betty Boop was based off a black woman, but Betty Boop sure as shit ain't black. Anyway, moving on.
This was part of the grand tradition of Disney villains being queer-coded.
Captain Hook is queer-coded.
How the hell is Captain Hook, Jafar, and Corella queer? Jafar, the guy who legit wants to fucking Jasmine. He's gay. Are you kidding me?
Paradise also gay?
Oh, he could be bisexual.
Yeah, people would say Scar was queer-coded. I would think that'd be the worst Disney example until this is the first time I saw somebody mention Jafar.
Scar is flamboyant, that's it. Anyway. Like hell, most of these motherfuckers are flamboyant. Anyway.
A term used so often that some people think it's a made-up term. But the reality is a very simple
all terms are made up.
Yeah.
Concept. During the Hays Code era, LGBTQIA characters could not appear on screen at all. This was among other restrictions as well, such as kisses only lasting 3 seconds, the bad guy having to be beaten by the end of the film, no overt violence, etc.
That's what I'm going to do to you now. Tear the skin from your body. Slowly. Bit by bit.
Now, prior to the Hays Code, there were films with queer characters. Never heard of them? Vingarne might be the first queer movie ever made in 1916, adapting Herman Bang's 1902 novel, Mikhail.
Herman Bang!
That's an unfortunate last name.
Yeah.
Salome is a 1922 film featuring an all-gay cast. One of the last major Hollywood films to feature overt queer themes before the Hays Code was put into effect was Dracula's Daughter, a sequel to Universal's Dracula, featuring a lesbian vampire.
I've seen this movie and she is not a lesbian. You are lying, Ant.
But does she take her shirt off?
She's basically just trying to tempt this bitch into being a vampire, basically.
Why are you looking at me that way?
She's not a lesbian, and she just wants to turn her into a vampire because she's fucking evil.
Do you remember when your
I would.
Let me kill you. No, I want to beat you. Do you remember when your parents would be like, "Don't stare at that kid. He might think you're gay."
Why did that happen to you, Eric?
Well, my dad used to say that. He'd be like, "Don't stare at a fucking guy too long because he's gonna think you're gay." I don't know if they're serious or joking, but seeing this shit now, it's like, yeah, I guess the gay stare exists.
Yeah.
Something to note. So I'm not saying that, oh, I think this is a problem or something, or I'm like woke or something. No, but Ant could make a point if he were to actually realize and say that for a long time, women in lesbian relationships have been a lot more acceptable and openly seen throughout media than gay men, a lot more so. But I bet he would never even think to make this point, but he wants to bring up this stuff.
Well, he's a guy. He would never understand.
Plus, Ant is gay. He says he's bi, but let's be real, he's gay. Anyway.
Post-code things changed. If you had any overtly queer film, they were films like The Children of Loneliness.
Oh no, please no, keep the children out of this.
Oh,
bizarre.
God. Oh my God, is he gonna make
Taboo until now, man. Or
lost
woman?
film that exists sort of like the gay
What?
Oh no, it's
oh no.
equivalent of Reefer Madness, an exploitative mockudrama designed to scare people away from being gay. But
sounds based. Never
people still
mind.
existed in Hollywood. James Whale, for example, inserted queer
I really
themes into
doubt this stuff is trying to scare people. I really do.
all of it.
How relevant is any of this, Ant? You're talking about you're going back like damn near 100 years here. This shit don't matter no more.
His movies.
Why do we need
for
bad
22 minutes
LGBTQ
in
conversion?
he switched from so many topics to like topic
the video
to topic.
essays
Like,
classic,
take
dude.
a thesis and stick with that.
It's his MO.
Yeah, the thesis. What was the thesis again?
You don't get it.
I hate him for doing this all the time.
You don't get it. In order to understand why we need more edgy gay characters, we need to go back to the fucking fossil record in the Neolithic when we saw caveman paintings of a dude boning another dude.
This is Ant's signature card here. I activate my trap card. Topic switch. Anyway.
You're actually gay.
Anyway.
Used film as a way to express themselves in subversive, less obvious ways.
Oh,
In
really?
many senses, they were like dog whistles. If you could hear the whistles, you'd pick up on the themes. Otherwise, it would go
I'm
over
not a
your
dog,
head.
though.
Affection's term to Theodora is Theo. Theo.
Oh my god, all the audio's coming from my left ear.
Like sisters.
Yeah, the audio mixing on this film's terrible. It's just the left. I can't deal with that shit,
Leave
man.
leave him be, goddammit. Came out before Christ was a carpenter.
It's the
Mainly,
leftist.
queer creators
Wait, what the hell's Peter Lorre doing here?
represented themselves
What is he doing here?
through villains. If you want more
yeah, he
detail,
totally
watch
wants
The
him.
Celluloid Closet, a 1995 documentary that James Summerchin repeatedly stole from
Vito Rosso.
excessively. Now, typically speaking, villains could be less masculine, less overtly manly, and thus queerer. And writers and actors use this loophole.
Oh, no.
This
Oh no, don't drag Vincent Price into this, please.
blind spot in mainstream observation repeatedly. Regardless, villains that subverted traditional gender expectations would continue to appear in film long
Gender
after the Hays
expectations,
Code,
right.
with everyone from Norman Bates to Jafar demonstrating some elements of coding. Now, some critics at the time argued that the queer coding was a poor substitute for on-screen representation, and they are right. I completely agree. This is why
Like, what's
Couldn't it just be?
I think it's probably because it's not like authentic like representation.
Oh
They're,
my
like,
god.
Well, this is an explanation, and
Yeah,
couldn't a simpler explanation be that they were trying to push for traditional values of masculinity, and thus the opposing force, should they be masculine, had to be in opposition to those themes, which happens to create a character who's in accordance with, as we understand them today, because language evolves with use, to be queer-coded. But nobody was like, if you asked the guy who made Norman Bates, he wouldn't tell you he was trying to make a gay guy or a
No.
queer-coded character. He'd
No.
ask you what the fuck that means and to leave his bar.
at the time, many villains just became more.
Also, Aunt Jesus H. Christ, buy a fucking hairbrush, wash your hair, Jesus H. Lucas.
Overtly queer.
Yeah, it's like he thinks he looks cute when he does this, but
Oh,
doesn't.
no.
You look hideous. As a fellow bi man, you look hideous.
Yeah.
How else is he supposed to attract those boys, you know?
To
Not
watch
like this.
Scream,
Do that for free.
for example, where the two killers are arguing like a married couple while placing themselves in very close proximity.
Wait, they're
gay? I'm pretty sure. I don't think they are, but no, Aunt, they're just fucking with her. All right, do you know what's happening in this scene? Have you seen? Oh my god. It's like they're just fucking with her. Christ. It's like my buddy, if Brandon, my buddy Brandon, if he were here right now, he'd back me up on this. I know that for fact. Anyway.
To another, and not thinking, so how long have you two been, you know what I'm saying?
Swinging the sword, huh?
Point is, for years, all audiences had for queer rap were villains. So, to an extent, it makes sense why we'd see this bounce in the other direction around the 2000s and to present day. It didn't help also that we saw a generation of audiences who had not seen themselves positively represented in media outside of like anime like Utena or Sailor Moon, again, for years would want more positive rep.
Your shirt. Tara?
Oh, and that's the other thing too. Bury your gays.
Oh yeah, Jay Longbone made a video response.
She was so based for making that video.
Oh really?
Yes.
Did she? That's fine.
Yeah. And it's not fucking homophobic if the gay characters die. End of discussion.
Yeah. And let me say this about representation. So I'm half white and half black. Do you ever really see any characters that are? You really don't. Have I ever cared or wanted that sort of representation? Never. It's almost like this doesn't matter as much as you think it is.
It's like
isn't Dragon Ball Z extremely popular with like black people?
Yes.
And in Mexico.
Yeah, and like
Arriba!
Yeah, so like this argument's like dead on arrival, right?
It's like dude, just what pisses me off about people who complain about this shit as if it's a real fucking problem is that now literally, if there's a gay character, you just know that they're gonna survive because they have plot armor, no matter how evil or unlikable they are. That's what pisses me off. It's like, oh, okay, so all the straight characters, they get fed into the meat grinder. Oh, but the gay characters, oh, they're untouchable. Don't fucking kill any of them off. It's like,
and that's just it. Sorry, go ahead. Please,
no, go ahead. I was done.
No, yeah, I was just saying, because the funny thing is, I think Ant agrees with you with that criticism, but he seems completely oblivious to the fact that the reason that we have the state of affairs such as it is currently is because people on his team fucking lost their shit about why are gay people always villains back in the day.
Or in this case, why they're dying.
Yeah, or why they're dying, or why are they having this happen to them? It's like it's almost like there's a lot of different people who are, you know, quote unquote, like LGBT, and they all have disparate opinions on the sort of representation they're looking for.
Yeah,
they're people. Like.
Yeah, and just so anyone who does remember, the fucking show that kickstarted this whole bury your gays bullshit, The 100, the actress who was playing Lexa, she was leaving the show! And it's not freaking absurd to kill characters off when the actor's leaving.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Anyway, moving on.
Gay characters who were likable were often killed in television and media, even into the 2010s. Okay. Like, sometimes immediately. So for years, if you were gay, or bi, or lesbian, or trans, you'd either be evil or killed off fairly quickly. Or, you know, dragged off to super hell after confessing your love. Not thinking of any examples in particular with that one.
Well, you kind of need to if you're gonna say all this shit.
You dumbass!
Holy shit! Yeah, the one fucking time I actually want Ant to give examples, he doesn't.
Yeah, hey guys, there's also this example. I'm not gonna show it to you. I can't think of any really. But,
I don't even know what show that was right there.
What the fuck are you talking about then?
It's like his sources, trust me. His example is trust me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I got this, okay?
Or you just be there for the appeal of a heterosexual audience, especially if you were femme or femme presenting.
Wait, but why would straight people want gay people to die? Like, what?
He probably genuinely believes that the majority of straight people hate gay people so much and just want them to die. They're that delusional.
Yeah, like it's just like, oh yeah, they were trying to appeal to the head. Guys, you don't get it. It's 10D chess. They were trying to appeal to the bigots, so instead of just not having a gay character, they included a gay character and then they killed them. What?
Like that just seems like overly complicated. Like,
yeah,
and again, it's like,
overcompensating.
in fact, like a ton. In fact, it doesn't even make sense because there's like a ton of beloved characters. Because there's like a ton of beloved characters that have like died in like fiction, and like deaths themselves can be like really iconic. Like Mufasa's death is like one of the most memorable moments of the original Lion King due to how like heartbreaking it was.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway.
It's like a character dying isn't really like necessarily like a bad thing or say something negative about that specific character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway.
And if you were trans, well, you'd either be the punchline of a joke, a secret villain, or both, as in the case of Ace Ventura.
Well, I mean, Ace Ventura is a good example of the villain thing.
Yes. Einhorn is also you do not have a soul if you didn't laugh at the Einhorn is a man scene. Like, come on.
That's a comedy, though.
Come on, Ant.
The part with Ace Ventura also like opening up the sliding door. That part was also funny.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that
with trans people specifically, though, like I don't like pulling this one out, but they represent a fraction of the population.
Yes.
Like you will just naturally expect less representation if there are less people of that kind in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
but Ant's just trying to say that it applies to every movie, and I'm like,
also,
you're talking about a comedy. That's your example, really?
Also, if Ant agrees that trans women are women, then surely you'd agree that all female representation applies to them, right?
That's the thing. They will say it up and down. Trans women are women. Trans women are women. But they will also very clearly place them in a different category. Like, which one is it?
Look, I will tell you this right now. If I know some trans people, they are perfectly happy being represented as whatever gender they identify with. Like they don't need specific trans characters. Like
anyway,
during the late 2000s, in conjunction with the rise of Tumblr, we started seeing
that cringe.
Oh yeah, thank goodness I was
the rise of Tumblr sounds so sinister.
The website that's always had such a terrible UI too. It sucks.
It's like Tumblr. Bah, 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 bah. Anyway.
Push for more positive queer rep. But by that same metric, we also saw the jigsaw pieces come together.
Wait, what the hell? I just heard the Street Fighter announcer. What the shit?
He has like a lo-fi video game.
I hate
trap beat or something.
I hate this music. Fucking Christ. And at least put on some fucking corn or some shit in the background. Christ.
Make your shit look like a nightclub if you want to do that
shit.
Become the sanitized version of queer rep that we're seeing across the media landscape today. As great as Tumblr was for giving young artists and writers, again, Andy Stevenson is one example, a platform to promote their work in the first place.
If Tumblr was made to promote motherfuckers like Andy Stevenson, the Tumblr was one humongous mistake.
Well,
promoted to 14-year-olds.
Oh!
Hell yeah.
It allowed businesses to look at the trends that started to assemble on Tumblr.
Oh, businesses really should not be looking to Tumblr for fucking trends to change.
Recipient of the have never worked in the real world award. Businesses do not look on businesses do not look on Tumblr for fucking media advice, dude. They might. What might happen?
Could you imagine though?
What might happen is if you apply for a job that's like an art director or something, or like like an artist, you might show them your portfolio, which might be on Tumblr. But even then, something like ArtStation would be more conventional for those purposes. Tumblr is a social media website.
Or DeviantArt, at least, yeah.
I would love that though. Like, yeah, let me see your Tumblr.
It's like, oh my god!
As a mechanic, yeah, here's my Tumblr. What does that have to do with cars? Well, I like fuck these cars.
It's like we reviewed your application, and we might be interested in moving forward to interview, but we did see you say you're an otherkin. What exactly does that mean?
The sanitized, squeaky clean soft boys, the wholesome lesbians, the chaotically anxious bisexual, the nervous, anxious trans person just waiting to come out. These are honest stories based on honest experience, yes. However, businesses don't see honesty and see that for what it is, an earnest narrative.
You just said that they went onto Tumblr looking for that. What the hell, Ant?
One thing I would like to mention about that was, except for the trans stereotype, the other ones are stereotypes that are really created by these people. The soft gay boys, the wholesome lesbian, the chaotic bisexual. That is created by LGBT individuals. So, and yeah, the media picked up on that from that.
Well, even the trans one, you could say that, like anxiety is, certainly a part of their experience.
Yeah, probably.
You'd have to conclude. So, like, it's. I don't understand. He's like, oh, we present ourselves as this, and then the media represents us that way. What the fuck? It's like, oh well.
He says, it says LGBTQIA fans are eating scraps. It sounds like they're eating good if they're making it and uploading it to Tumblr for others like them to see.
Got a job on my Tumblr account. I'm starved.
They see it as, oh, this is getting attention. We can turn this into a product. And thus, honest experience became something they could sell and something you could buy.
Well, wait. But it's still an honest experience that those people had, and it could speak to the people that have that experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those people still exist. They didn't stop existing just because it became commercialized.
Yes.
So are you saying those people shouldn't have representation? Or, like, are you taking umbrage with the fact that they're hogging the spotlight? Like, why do you pretend as though there are no, as was pointed out, none of those people who fall into those archetypes that exist?
Also, lion liquors. Ugh, that's a nasty-ass name for ice cream.
A weird name, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a need for shows like Steven Universe in the 2010s.
No one needed that show.
No.
Stop lying, Ant. Dude, Easy Peasy's video on Steven Universe proves how terrible it was. Anyway.
Yeah, honestly, even back then, I honestly just kind of I saw the preview for Steven Universe back when it aired, and I honestly just thought it looked kind of whatever.
This push was
I actually
necessary.
enjoyed the show, but I cannot say it's done anything for the world whatsoever beyond being a product that entertains. Like, it's delusion to think anything else.
Well, it's also like, if the product is good and it has again, if the product is good and it has gay people in it, it'll be successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Generally, like, look at Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
That's a very successful game.
Anyway, moving on.
Necessary. It was the first of its kind in mainstream television, and while by today's standards it might seem like a little low stakes,
it is very low stakes. It's surprisingly a low stakes show.
What do you mean today's standards?
Are the standards for stakes high? And I guess you could say that they are in, like, the aggregate of, like, stakes in movies like Multiverse of Madness are absurd. But like, why is being low stakes a problem? Why did you insinuate it that way?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Was remarkable. Don't forget, Steven Universe had the first on-screen queer wedding in a mainstream piece of animation. That's major.
Thank God.
But it's also important to remember that works like the Moaning.
Star Trek had the first interracial kiss. What's your point?
Yeah.
We're also coming out.
The difference is this was for kids. That's this point.
Yeah, I see.
In time, works that were more complex. And these are works that are mainly aimed for younger audiences. They were
really
way more
shouldn't be.
very mature works that were being made for adults at the same time. I can do a whole thing on Clive Barker, for example, back in the 80s.
Don't, Ant, because you already fucked it up the first time you talked about the Cenobites.
What does it have to do with what?
I don't know.
I'm just...
Again, what?
I'm not sure I follow his point, because up until this moment, he was complaining about the lack of, like, edgy, you know, as he said, like, bad LGBTQIA representation. But now he's saying that, oh, this representation, when it's done for kids, is extremely safe. It's like, how else would you want it?
Again, this video has no thesis.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that, like, I disagree that Steven Universe Steven Universe either should have been made for kids but had all the LGBT stuff removed from it, or it should have been made for adults, and that way it could have kept it all in there. And also, if they're gonna make it for they're gonna make it for kids, they also should have freaking went with a different art style, because I don't know any adults that would have gone with that art style, because that's a very kiddie art style. Anyway,
that's CalArts, right?
No, not CalArts. It's just thin line animation in general. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, it's like. Also, we needed Rebecca Sugar in Steven Universe. No, we didn't. No one did. No one needed it. No one deserved it. Anyway,
everyone would have been happier if it never happened.
Yes, legit. The world would have been much healthier without it. Yes,
we needed that about as much as we needed the Holocaust. How does that?
Yes. It makes sense because Rebecca Sugar a Jew who believed in the Holocaust?
Yes.
Sort of hell.
Yes.
Did she believe? Did she? Oh my gosh! I think she outright favored it in one of the episodes. Anyway,
Rebecca Sugar actually made an album in 2023, like a music album.
Oh no!
Funny how nobody talks about that. Not even Steven Universe.
No one talks about that shit anymore. It came just like that and died even faster than that. It just goes to show you that these motherfuckers who make all this shit, they can't make anything timeless worth a damn. Anyway.
We have such sights to show you.
Again, we'll go into more works that were more mature later on this month, but for right now, we're talking about the queer rep that gained the most traction.
No, talk about it now, Ant. Come on, go long, Ant. Embrace the long.
In mainstream discussion on the internet and on television.
I'm just like, why is he even putting this in? Like, just dragging it out for no reason.
He's just teasing you, like, hey, you want to watch more of this? Well, subscribe and check out more. It's like, consume, bitch.
Well,
Anyway.
Because he's addressing media aimed at kids now, so it's like, how else would you want the depictions to be other than in a very all children's media is like this? It's all very safe round edges.
He wants it more mature because kids can't think for themselves versus mature people that can think for themselves.
Even in the case of a heterosexual romance, like it's at most like a kiss on the cheek or something. It's like, I don't remember the scene in fucking Toy Story where he railed Bo Peep raw, you know, like.
And the sheeps, yeah.
How would sex even work with the toys in Toy Story?
I don't think we want to ask that question.
You're right.
About cars.
You're right.
And maybe forgetting, because a lot of these shows, the actual people who watch it is mainly adults. I think that Ant, well, he's stupid. He may be actually forgetting the constraints they have to work with being a kid's show, regardless of who the actual people watching is, because Ant is very ignorant.
Yes. Simple Ant.
Again, the characters you're looking for.
How ignorant is he, though?
Again, the characters you're looking for exist, but you won't find Lestat in children's media. Because he's a sex vampire. I don't know how else to tell you this.
Sexy boy!
He just wants all this shit interjected though, like because kids can't think for themselves. So just put all this bullshit in. That way, they come out brainwashed and
Oh my god. It's like
there's people who are already adults that can think for themselves and they have an opinion and they can actually voice that.
Ant, where is the line with you? You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
How I get. I don't know.
Can I help me?
There was room for mess.
By the way, that's like 2 pre-teenage kids, and this guy's a teenager, so yay, pedophilia.
But
there
was Backseat. It's not enough, apparently.
Yeah, it's never enough with these people.
Room
I would like to note that I enjoyed Steven Universe. I just found it entertaining, even though its execution is flawed. But I always hated this fusion character. It's a fusion of a male and a female, so they're like, oh, it's non-binary. I always hated that.
Yeah.
See chaotic queer stories at this time. But that's become harder and harder to do as things change. For the success and reception of these positive LGBTQIA stories, we also got carbon copies of them being product. And what's funny is a lot of these corporations pushed back on these initial ideas when they first came out. Steven Universe, for example, was truncated because Rebecca Sugar refused to compromise on their vision for the Ruby and Sapphire wedding. Cut several years later, and stuff like that becomes commodified for marketing purposes. The corporations did not believe they'd turn a profit, but once they turned a profit, they became exploited iconography. To an extent, of course,
almost like movies and TV shows.
What's funny
are
is the wedding is still leagues ahead of what you see in mainstream animation today. The problem is imagery like it has become more commonplace without the thought, intimacy, build-up, etc. in corporate products specifically. Artist-driven products, that's different, but corporate products have incorporated this imagery on occasion to sell tickets. And in the most mild, inoffensive, easy to edit out ways possible. That imagery has been recycled.
Are you asking me on a date? Your pulse and heartbeat have quickened. No.
As a result of all this...
Oh, I remember this. Stupid.
What even is that show?
It's Big Hero 6.
It's a Baymax show.
AKA not actually Big Hero 6 if you read the books. Anyway.
Certain imagery that was once validated
I did actually like that Baymax, but it was
has outstayed its welcome, becoming inauthentic because corporations have dug up something, taken something.
Oh no.
To sell a product.
That's what they do to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's exactly the point. It's like the cognitive dissonance of this is so funny. Like they'll criticize this, but then they'll literally just but then they won't get to the act. Like they'll criticize rainbow capitalism, they'll criticize corporations for doing stuff like this, but then they'll be like, but no, but then people can't call that out because then they're this and that, and it's like the cognitive dissonance from people like Anthony is just genuinely insane.
Yes.
We're literally saying the exact things that you're saying, but somehow when it comes from these specific people, then it's bad. But when people who agree with you are saying it, it's good. It's like it's really frustrating.
He can't betray the ideology. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Also, he's about to bring up Yuri on Ice real soon. Has anyone seen that show?
No, I don't
know. But
I
know it's already so cringe, even though I didn't really even watch any of it. Oh my goodness. But one thing I like to note, it is quite literally basically a yaoi just without sex. It's made for women to enjoy in that manner. So, oh my goodness, I don't know why he's bringing this.
Should have called it yaoi on ice. Anyway.
Quick to use LGBTQIA narratives to make a quick buck, provided they are commodified enough to sell. But only for as long as they absolutely have to. The moment that they no longer need to use queer media to promote themselves, they will drop it like a bad habit, and nowhere is that more clear than in the case of MAPPA.
What?
MAPPA is a major anime studio.
One thing,
and the anime
I do want to note something real quick. If you were to discuss the differences between LGBT media and the U.S. In the West and in Asia, not just Japan, but like in China and Korea, they used to. It would be a whole long conversation, so I'm not. But one thing I would like to note is that when it comes to this like anime and stuff, like when they make, I feel like these people are stupid. They somehow miss this. Like when the anime and manga, they make it for the enjoyment of people who want to, of straight women who want to see two men together. I'm not going to get started on like the lesbian version because a lot of that is aimed at women. However, you see like gay content that's Western, it's made for completely different reasons. You'll pretty much never see an anime or manga that's gay made with the same reason as something made from the West. It's for straight women compared to the motivations of making this content in the West is always different. There's no comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Anime that built their entire empire, an empire consisting of multiple shonen anime. All of that is thanks to the success of one anime from 2016 that put MAPPA on the map. Yuri on Ice.
Boy.
That's me. To say MAPPA became successful because of this gay ice skating anime is an understatement. It built a foundation of clout, which MAPPA then used as leverage to get bigger and bigger jobs.
We live in a...
thank God, an ad.
I can have sex with.
Because they know that girls who like yaoi will fork out a ton of money, so okay, like that's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. It's like, oh, the second it stops becoming profitable, they'll stop making it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's called
for everything. Yeah.
It's called business, and
yeah, business don't give a shit. As long as they can make
Yuri
money.
on Ice has no manga. It's an original work. They made this just basically to get that sweet money from the little girls who love yaoi, really. So I mean, that's obvious. I don't know why he's bringing this up.
How many zombie movies are coming out these days? And is it less than it was in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, probably, because that's not a popular trend anymore.
Shit. Oh fuck.
I mean, shit, The Walking Dead is still going.
Yeah.
Well, how successful is it? Really?
Shit.
I don't know. That's why I question it.
Well, folks, we're having oh wait, never mind. We're having technical difficulties there for a minute here. What?
Backseat had a DDoS attack.
Yeah.
Doesn't get right.
Don't worry.
Lilios doesn't get writing. That should be agreeable. I agree with that title.
All right. Hopefully, she didn't get fucked up here. Hang on.
I was just wondering how long this video is going to be. He's rambling forever, but there we go.
This is a massive amount of anime every year following the success of Yuri on Ice. So you'd think they'd be grateful for this series. You know, treat it well, treat it like the prized crown. New Line Cinema is still in some circles called the house that Freddy built because of the success of Freddy Krueger. But MAPPA has shown very little gratitude towards the show that launched its studios, not even fulfilling promises to fans.
They don't want to be a yaoi studio, but they do that one when they become money. It's what other companies do, which is basically what the whole video's been about, what like all companies do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fans to continue the studio. So you think they every year following the success of Yuri on Ice. Anime is still in some circles called the house that Freddy built because of the success of Freddy Krueger. But MAPPA has shown very little gratitude towards the show that launched its studios, not even fulfilling promises to fans to continue the story. Following the monumental success of
Studios
Yuri
do that
on
all
Ice,
the time with so many different types of media constantly. Come on, it's not because it's gay.
Yeah.
Announced a prequel movie. This is, of course, after the show implied there'd be a season 2. And to be fair, there are several anime out there centered on sports that built on popularity season to season. Look at Haikyuu or Free. Those shows became massive after repeated seasons were released. Anyway, for years, MAPPA teased Yuri on Ice's movie follow-up, Ice Adolescence, all while announcing new projects or taking over Attack on Titan for its last season. News would come as a trickle feed to the fans, and fans were eager for scraps for over half a decade before MAPPA, one day, just canceled Ice Adolescence outright. But that's not bad enough. The studio also had to rub salt in the wound. When discussing Jujutsu Kaisen's success, Mappa's CEO declared that Yuri on Ice made them comparatively little money, especially when compared to major shonen shows. Yeah, but do you know what else it did? Its success made it possible for you to get the contracts to animate those major shonen shows.
How much do we want to believe that? I think it's making a stretch here.
I think that
I know nothing about this, so I can.
From what I know about Yuri on Ice, this is pretty believable. But Ant, do you feel that a company owes you a sequel because they made a successful product and then they decided we actually want to do something else? We prefer that. Like, what if the argument for Mappa's preference, these projects are more successful, so that's incentive enough, because again, they're a studio, they employ people, they have an obligation to their employees first, before they have, an obligation to, necessarily continue any particular show. And then, what if the people at the studio just like working on those better? There's also a possibility. It could be any number of things. They might just prefer to make that kind of product. It's so... from Mr. Companies don't owe you anything in terms of I'm what would you say to the Star Wars fans who were disappointed with TLJ and its portrayal of Luke? Would you also say they were owed nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Or they were owed something rather?
Oh, we'll get to his Star Wars fans will never be happy video. Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah.
Did you make a video on Todd Phillips? That'd be funny.
Oh, and by the way, none of this is even touching upon Mappa's terrible working conditions or the awful pay rate.
This has nothing to do with the Yuri on Ice.
Yeah, irrelevant.
This is irrelevant.
Or, and again, wasn't this about, representation? What does this anime have to do with that? Again, there's no thesis.
Yeah, and again, back to Western versus Eastern, what are their intentions for making a series with LGBT in it?
This is literally just whinging about they didn't make a sequel to Yuri on Ice. I don't give a fuck. How is this relevant?
And if you're salty about that, cry about it. Anyway.
This is just my bitterness that one of the better anime to come out of the 2010s got treated worse than The Devil's a Part-Timer. But again, I digress. Let me know if one day you want me to make a Yuri on Ice video. I will, if there's enough demand for it.
That'll be the day. That'll be the day.
I'm waiting for
it.
No,
there's one thing I'd like to note real quick. As somebody who was a fan of manga and anime, I'd like to know that Yuri on Ice was an original series basically created for them to animate, no original manga, when pretty much almost all of Mappa's other works are adapted from a manga or light novel.
Yes.
So it's different.
Yes.
Point is, Mappa used queer media, exploited it for profit, only to cast it aside when they were done with it, just to garner success.
Why do you have to frame it in the most malicious way possible? They made a show, and then they got the ability to make more money by making other shows, and they did it.
Here, and let me phrase it this way for you. Mappa made a successful show, but they didn't feel like continuing with it because they got bored or whatever the hell. How about that? Same shit.
Mention this.
It's this perpetual, everything has to be calculated ploy or plot in some fashion. It's not that deep, man. Mm-hmm. They just found out that other shows make them more money. Of course, if I'm understanding it correctly, in the Japanese medium or everything, isn't I'm not an expert. Isn't shonen some of the most profitable, as profitable as it gets, pretty much?
Yes.
Yeah, and let me mention. Well, this something as somebody who knows about the anime and manga industry. So, yaoi and yuri manga is a very popular thing, but it translates to very little success adapting it into an anime. That's probably why Yuri on Ice has made so much less financially compared to their other series, which are straight shonen and seinen.
And I take it makes less overseas.
Yeah.
Also, Ant's face right here is so going on to the thumbnail. Let me snip that.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I'm snipping that.
The face I make when I see a Corvette.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mid-speed.
Foreshadowing is a literary device, which...
Moving on.
None of this is a reflection of the countless artists, and brilliant people behind the scenes on Yuri on Ice who pushed for years to get this made. The fact that they failed to make Yuri on Ice...
Really? The millions who worked on it and pushed for it? Are you kidding me? It's like, bro, the company didn't even want to make a sequel. Yeah, how the hell... Like, I don't know how many people work at MAPPA, but if, like, millions were pushing for it, but it didn't get made, it's probably because, like, nobody wanted to fucking make it. What are you talking about?
It's one. He's
I'm back
complaining.
because I'm at my sister's place.
Hi, Noah. Again, we're still here.
What have I missed? Oh my god, you're still doing this.
You don't want to know. Just shut up and watch the video, Noah. All right.
Well, you didn't miss much.
Okay.
He's conflating fan complaints with studio ambition.
Yes.
I get that it's I get that it sucks, you know, that it got cancelled and they never made a sequel. Do you suppose that the Firefly fans are particularly happy with how that show was treated?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but this happens sometimes. Like, studios move on to other things.
What?
Did he get to it? Did he get to his point finally yet?
No.
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 Of course
Still
not.
waiting.
We're
no way in hell he would do that.
No. No.
I forgot. What was
We're
it?
talking about Yuri on Ice now and how it got cancelled because the studio wanted to make other things that made them more money. This guy. He's very passionate about it, clearly.
Moving on.
A series as big as Haikyuu is proof that MAPPA just saw it as an asset to increase their bottom line more than anything else. So, what's the solution?
So every company views its product. Show? Yeah.
Never mind, this is the face on the thumbnail. Should I go with this one or the one I already snipped?
I like the other one more.
Alright.
Why should I give a shit about my family? Why should I put food on a table for my family?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
He looked like Jeb from the Jeb Sweep meme from the other one.
Okay. Anyway. Your talent in to make their stories. They're messy, mean-spirited, cruel, sassy, sarcastic, problematic stories. The recent trend exists as a response to queer creatives trying to rebalance the scales of the previous generations, where the underground scene was the only way LGBTQIA content could be created, where the caveat was to make it more exploitative, to make it more extreme, to put butts in seats. But now we've seen the opposite happen. The pendulum is swung in the opposite direction, and we need to become more exploitative, more trashy, and
Why does he keep suggesting that it's exploitative for a studio to want to make something marketable and, you know, safe?
No, he's saying exploitative, like we need to go back to doing what John Waters was doing. That's what he's saying.
But for heterosexuals?
Well, no. He's saying that like in contrast to like we're moving away from what John Waters were doing to something exploitative, I believe.
Well, no, he's bringing up like a pendulum. It's like he's saying we went from John Waters to this. Now we have to go back to John Waters. He's basically advocating for that.
No,
because of Yuri on Ice.
But like I quibble with the ground-based premise. Like, why does he think that what we have now is exploitative? That doesn't make any sense.
But he still hasn't said why we need it to be bad LGBTQ.
Who's exploited by Yuri on Ice?
He's exploiting his fans.
At times, not always, but at times, the more exploitative and extreme. This is in order to rebalance the scales, not to tip the scales in the other direction. We still have a place for honest, intimate, sweet stories, but we also need the crasser stuff, the meaner stuff, the crueler stuff, the stuff that is offensive by its
that
design.
Stuff doesn't always make, you know that, right?
That's not going to make it. Well, get ready for it to not make money, Ant. It's going to make even less money than Yuri on Ice did.
I mean, no one really had an argument against that. We just need it to be good. Like, we just need it to be good. It can be whatever. Just make it good. That's all we want.
And that's beautiful. You will almost never find it to be published by Disney.
Hang on. Jan, what'd you say? We kind of talked over you. What?
No, I just said, and that's beautiful, and you will never find the more the more crasser stuff to be published by Disney, because of course they won't. It'll be smaller studios.
Yes.
It's Disney.
Do you think if Disney ain't gonna make a crass film starring heteros, they're sure as shit not gonna make it starring homos? Nope. That just clashes too much with their company image.
Because companies only want the image of safety. They don't really care about going too far. Take a look at Saltburn, for example, a movie that garnered great controversy.
Wow.
I saw the trailer for Salt several times, and I still had no clue what to make of it.
No.
I'm just looking at the poster and I don't know what to make of it.
What even is it? What is it about?
Oh, this isn't a meme?
I don't know. I never saw it because it didn't interest me, but I just remember how baffled I was at the trailers for this thing.
See, because it showed some pretty messy, pretty extreme stuff for the modern day. You compare Saltburn to Pink Flamingos, it's tame. It's extremely...
Oh, so it's not good enough. Okay.
What?
The person that was the director, whatever his name was, that made those movies. That's one of his movies, Ian.
Tame. But for the 2020s, Saltburn was extreme.
Fat guys in dresses or something?
I don't know what Anne wants.
It wouldn't have been as extreme in the underground 70s scene, however. That's proof that we've pushed the scales too far in one direction. We need something to come to tilt it and rebalance things just a bit. There are several novels and comic books out there that bring this...
And they're shit.
This kind of messy,
he's trying to justify them doing that.
Realistic,
I really hate the overgeneralized way he always speaks. I really do.
Yes. What is this? Hang on. The studios are ignoring messy queer stories, but one... Hang on, what is it? What's the chapter called? I have to zoom out for a bit here.
All followed with us? What?
I can't... many studios are ignoring messy queer stories, but want LGBTQIA dollars.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Dude, does he not know what a business model is? What it's for?
No. Alright.
So who gives a shit then?
And comic books out there that bring this kind of messy, problematic, realistic queer rep to life. But mainstream studios just aren't welcoming of it outside of niche genre affairs.
Yes, and we have this shit. It's called the Queer Show Ghetto. It's just not. They're not gonna get out of there. Either go into the ghetto or stay out here. The choice is yours.
John Waters has been.
And a lot of his points seem to be stuff that everybody pretty much already knows, but he feels like he's doing something by saying this.
He feels like he's discovered. Discovered something amazing, but it's like, no, guy, it hasn't.
Discovered his own pubic hair. Hang on.
Like every single thing in this video he's saying is either something that like everyone already knows or something that makes no sense whatsoever. There's like no middle.
And how about you tip the scales back so we can make sense of your shit?
I was very interested in that example of Saltburn that he put as a example of a film that was, made by a major studio. That film made $21 million at the box office.
On a budget of what?
Doesn't say. Let me find out. Budget. $75 million.
So it bombed.
So that's a complete bomb.
Yes.
Do you understand now why major studios don't often make these films?
Yes.
I've been struggling to get funding for his upcoming film project, despite his likeness and image becoming part of the Hollywood landscape. Hollywood seems eager to put John Waters front and center in front of The Simpsons or in television as a personality, but they don't seem interested in funding his film projects. The very thing that elevated his name to such a success. Occasionally, we will get something that is subversive.
Do they respect him or what?
Right.
I don't know.
It just seems like they make him a slideshow, but you know.
Go into the ground being covered by horror and comic books, but mainstream films can stand to learn a lot from the world of literary fiction. A great example of queer rep in recent media that I'd like to see more of is, again, Leigh Bardugo's Grishaverse novels, especially Six of Crows, which, again, like Yuri on Ice, I keep bringing up in these videos.
Man, this is legit the first time ever. Actually, I think I do know what this is. He's brought this up for in the fucking this one video we did with Sahara. Anyway. Like, because one of these characters has a fucking peg leg or some bullshit like that. Anyway.
This entire series is about a group of chaotic criminal bisexuals and their one token straight friend going on crimes and being absolute menaces to society.
Sounds like a great sell. Wouldn't you guys agree? Like,
oh, totally, yeah.
Like, who do you think's the straight one here?
No.
I don't know.
I
can't really
know what.
I've read Shadow and Bone. It's been a while. It's actually a good book, but again, edgy books don't often get adaptations. Game of Thrones was a massive exception, but like you don't get a lot of like. There's a reason like Malazan's not adapted, First Law's not adapted. What other like grimdark fantasies out there? Warhammer 40K doesn't have a proper film adaptation. Like, there's a reason major studios don't want to touch these things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of my favorite movies last year, like I recently did a video on my channel. I recently made a video review on my channel of the film Frankie Frico. I mean, I absolutely loved it, but like, unfortunately, I understand why not a lot of people are making films like that because there isn't like a huge market for like schlocky, campy B movie homages the way there is for like MCU Marvel track. Like, it doesn't have anything to do. It's just like niche genres. It's not like they hate those genres, like B-movie. It's just more like it just isn't as wide of an audience, so Hollywood doesn't make movies like that. They just go where the money goes, like whatever the audience is interested in that time. That's really. It's not like they hate them. It's just that they're not interested in them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, considering how much the landscape has changed in the past 10 years as well.
And like similar with the zombie movie example, I think it's worth pointing out that fantasy, in terms of like like fantasy and grimdark fantasy especially, is largely still a literary/video game genre.
Yes.
And tabletop. It's not something you see a lot in movies and shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
It's niche.
It even got partially adapted into a Netflix series that was again canceled.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, that's just Netflix nonsense. I still won't forgive them I still have never forgiven them for canceling Inside Job.
Keeps happening, in case you haven't noticed. So, you see what I'm saying right now? Even the good stuff we get is canceled before we can even enjoy it. And Shadow and Bone...
Okay, but that's Netflix. What does that have to do with anything?
So,
that's just Netflix. That's just Netflix subjecting all their shows to the Firefly effect.
Netflix canceled Daredevil. Like, what do you...
Like, they take the show, and it's like, if it's not, like, the most successful thing ever, boom, cancel it, replace it with more seasons.
They keep waiting for the next Breaking Bad.
Yeah, this isn't an example of Netflix canceling it because it's got gay people. This is just Netflix canceling because of the Firefly effect. Jan, you brought this up earlier, but for those who don't know what the Firefly effect is, it's named after the show Firefly because it was a sci-fi show on a channel, Fox, that mainly didn't do that kind of stuff, and it was like really it had a lot of esoteric stuff for Fox, a lot of niche stuff. You had to tune in each week to check it out and whatnot, and of course Fox wasn't super keen on it, but they were willing to let it run its course. But then of course it underperformed because of the network it was on, so they canceled it. So now there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's basically the general stuff. It's basically if it doesn't perform up to the network standards because it's outside the network's wheelhouse, they're just not going to put up with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, and I just realized a lot of the way he's talking about adaptions and stuff, a lot of it feels very unappreciative of the original work, when the original work is usually what the real fans gravitate towards the most.
Yes. Right.
He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. He's being confusing and deceptive on purpose. I already said that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say
Exactly.
Netflix even
That's why
has
I
their
hate him
own...
so much. He always does that.
He's intentional.
Yes, sir.
There is intent. Yeah,
I want to say Netflix does have their own little gay channel, doesn't they?
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
they used to have lesbian porn on Netflix when it first started.
So
God damn, I missed it all.
So it's not afraid of the gay shit.
I also want to say Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows didn't do that particularly well. Like
in book sales.
Well, no, on Netflix. The Netflix show didn't do that good, as I understand it. In terms of book sales, I don't know, but like I know they're reasonably popular as books, but like books are a niche medium as well. Like not a lot of people read books these days.
Yes.
They use fucking Blinkist.
They're too busy on fucking TikTok. Utter bullshit.
Adaptation, quote unquote, of Six of Crows. That was doing fairly well. It had
It won't come as much of a consolation as Shadow and Bone fans were still reeling from the fantasy drama's cancellation after 2 seasons, but it was the most watched English language scripted series from that period to get the axe, amassing 192.9 million hours viewed from its March 16th debut through the end of June to rank number 26.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how many qualifiers. Well, no, look at how many qualifiers. It was the most watched English language scripted series from that period.
Overly narrow superlative, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a case of you can make anything sound good that way.
What do you mean English language scripted series? What does that mean?
I have no fucking clue what that means.
Like, say that. That just
did they just mean American or?
Netflix's viewership data provides glimpse into renewal decisions. Shadow and Bone was most watched canceled show in first half of 2023. Yeah, we just proved that wrong. Anyway.
It had a pretty big audience. It was in Netflix top 50 of last year.
The top 50? Are you kidding me? 50. Do you really think Netflix is going to renew everything in the top 50? No. That's fucking ridiculous.
No,
it was quite low down that list, wasn't it? It was like number 26. Why the fuck would number 26 get renewed?
It didn't even crack the top half of that list, for God's sake, Ant. Come on.
Yeah, how is it the most watched? I don't understand that.
Well, this is the same shit that Disney does all the time. They're like, oh, you claim that Little Mermaid was a bomb or whatever, yet it was this week the most watched fucking fantasy show with a black female lead on the website. It's like, okay, Jesus Christ, if I made a movie, you know what? If I made a movie or like I made a film and it was just me recording a still image of my fucking water bottle, it would for a single nanoangstrom be the most viewed fucking water bottle sporting movie film in that particular nanoangstrom of time. Like, yeah, dude, you can make anything sound good this way.
To be honest, I'd watch that.
Bro, there's two things I want to take away from that. The first thing is if you're top grossing of a category of products, your product that's the top grossing of that category is a bomb. Your whole platform isn't doing that well.
No, that's what.
Also, but what did you say about the water bottle? Okay, so if I made a video of a water bottle, like you said, like just filming my water bottle, people aren't gonna want to watch it unless it's for A, the memes. 2, they have no idea why it's popular, so they want to know more. Or C, they just kind of it's more B. I don't know. I mean, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
No, exactly. And like it's harkening to what I said about fantasy in general. Fantasy as a genre, particularly gritty fantasy, is not a very popular thing with the normies. I'm sorry. Game of Thrones
like 35, 36 minutes, and we still haven't gotten to this damn point.
The normies, anyway.
It just wasn't the top 10. And for Netflix, that's not enough. If it's not top 10, it's going to get canceled.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's a separate problem, Ant. It's nothing. It's not because they hate the gays. That's just that's Netflix being too trigger happy.
Point is, these works are still out there. Celebrate them. Seek them out. Maybe we can make them so successcul that one day
you can do that too.
Why not appreciate the original media that you're getting through adaptions of?
Well, I don't know, and the fact that your side is, and yet they're not successful enough, that kind of proves that maybe your side just isn't big enough of a demographic worth exploiting. You know what I'm saying?
And here's a topic idea. Instead, as you said, because you said, oh, if you ask for it, I'll do it. Instead of making a think piece video rambling for 30 minutes about nothing, how about you make a Yuri on Ice review to get more people to watch it?
Hey, there you go, Ants.
Yeah, you could just do that instead of adding it onto this.
Instead of having a video essay where you don't make a point.
Like, it feels like Ant had several ideas for videos, and rather than making them separate videos, he just stuck them all together into this gigantic.
Yes, that's what Ant does with most of his videos. All his videos are basically the video equivalent of a turducken dish. He basically just stuck. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way he's doing his videos.
God,
the way he's presenting his points that he's not able to make is so messy that he's not able to make a clear point, even when the point is in the title, and we can hardly tell if that's even actually what the video is about because he's not getting to the damn point of his title.
Yes.
It's
and
just a
this
trend
kind
I
of goes.
observed. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Kind of goes back into what Noah was kind of saying earlier. Now, and well, he does seem like somebody who cannot always make his points as clearly as he wants to do, but a lot of times you know what he's doing. In a lot of his videos I've seen, it seems like he speaks in a way to deliberately reduce the clarity of his argument and seems to throw up a lot of different points, partially with the intention to reduce the clarity of what he's saying. And if you think about it, it makes sense. The people on his side are already going to agree no matter what.
Yes.
And trying to basically kind of like reduce the clarity of your argument towards the other side is a bad strategy, I suppose, but one they think is good.
I mean, with 10,000 likes on this video, it's like, yeah, Ant has a lot of sheeple watching his shit.
Back in like 2000, like the mid 2000, like 16s, 15s, thereabouts, like the complaint was there's not enough stuff with XYZ representation. Now it's the complaint from people like Ant is, because I bet you back in the day he was writing articles like that. Now he's making videos talking about like, oh, we need more of this kind of representation because we now have this representation, but we need that kind of representation. And he even admits
people are never satisfied.
Well, no, he says the best part is he says this media exists. It's like, okay, so make content about that media. Make your analysis of like, the queer themes in Shadow and Bone. Do that. Why don't you go do that instead of
he would get a
outrage
lot. He would get a lot more ad revenue from making videos about like reactions or like just reviews of content that he does like, even the stuff he doesn't like it so much. Instead of doing that,
He's making these lame ass video essays, dude. Legit.
You know what? He's actually doing a pretty good job because he's got like 50,000 followers on his YouTube.
Dude, Ant's most popular video is just like some video comparing Batman's villains with Spider-Man villains. Now I haven't seen that video, so I don't know how good it is. I don't know what he says in it. But if he made more videos like that, he might be more popular and more liked, and I wouldn't be on his ass so much. And I don't mean in a gay way, obviously. If Ant just made more videos like that instead of these dumb ass video essays where he just rambles on endlessly, jumps from point to point, flexes his nerd cred because he thinks it makes him look well read, and basically just peddles this leftoid bullshit, he wouldn't be the fucking laughing stock and punching bag I've made him out to be. Maybe then Ant wouldn't be my arch enemy who lied about the fact that I said I like blackface. Sorry, that got
that's right. I forgot that he did.
Sorry, that got
Peter on a next level of rage.
Yeah, you kind of cut out. You said something about
you
that.
should have seen him last week. Last week it was pretty horrible.
Basically, Anthony made a community post claiming
you didn't see anything. I saw him last week. Last week he was so fucking pissed.
Oh my god,
he was so pissed at Anthony last week.
I didn't.
It's understandable. I mean,
yes.
Amidst the outpour of rage, I looked up what like the most popular review for Shadow and Bone is on YouTube, like the book specifically. 63,000 views, 76,000 views, and these are numbers you could beat. Like, just promote it.
How many numbers does this video get? How many numbers does this video get? Hang on. Oh, he ain't gonna do that. He's got 175,000. He ain't doing that shit.
Yeah, exactly, because he's outrage baiting. He doesn't care about the product itself. He cares about making a rambly, meandering video essay because those do well in the algorithm. How about you make a book review instead? Make a breakdown. Promote the stuff that you like instead of constantly complaining about what you lack.
Complain.
I would require him to be consistent and actually read a book and be entertaining.
And we also know you just love to hear yourself talk in the little circular comments. So it's okay, just admit it. Just play yourself talking. I'll repeat while you go to sleep.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Like he's writing a book, presumably. Why doesn't he promote that? He made fun of Shad for promoting his work. Like.
Anyway, moving on.
Disney will option the rights to them and do literally nothing with them, as they realize they can't actually use the IP without offending the people who cry about 11 frames of animation from Lightyear. But at the very least, our patronage towards the arts that we support and want to see more of will convince at least some companies to pay queer creatives. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Real people being able to make a living off of art that makes life, for so many of us, bearable.
Well, Ant, you're gonna find out really soon that just because the art you want to make isn't profitable, it's like you're gonna have to choose. You're gonna arrive at that impasse, and if you're gonna make this art that doesn't appeal to the masses, you're not gonna end up with a lot of money. So, what do you want? Do you want some money? If so, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices and basically be all like, "Well, I can't really do all this I wanted to do. So, if I want to make money, I'm gonna have to give the audience what they want." But if you're not gonna make that sacrifice, you better take it on the chin and live with less money, and choice is yours.
So
he could make a lot more good reaction videos. I really mean it.
If the gay community is out there and wants to support this stuff, then why are they struggling?
Well, let's
because there's no restraints.
Let's review the options for creative, the queer creatives to get out there. Books. You just need to find an editor and a publisher. These are some of the most liberally available things out there. Books have no problem getting on the market. They have problem succeeding because they're a smaller medium. So books, you have no problem there if you want to make your edgy queer stuff, as you've demonstrated, because your literal example was pulled from a book. The second option, film. You're probably not going to get a major studio, but movies have a thriving indie scene, especially now. It's never been easier for you to privately make or crowdfund your project than it is in Anno Domini 2025. It's never been easier. You can do it that way. In terms of games, again, thriving indie space. Shows, probably the hardest. But shows are also. Studios have demonstrated they're more willing to take a risk on a streaming service show than they are with a feature film, right? So it's offset there. Why are you pretending like these avenues don't exist? It's so weird.
Yeah, I wasn't
because he's eternally oppressed. That's why he's eternally oppressed.
Yeah, I was an author. I say was because I didn't stop, but I'm on hiatus. I don't want to get on the details, but yes, it was actually successful. Successful for an indie project, such as having a large enough reader base and making a small amount of money on it, but for an indie project that was considered successful. And I already knew from the start pretty much how it was going to be, and it would take a lot of work, but Ant can't really get anything together, honestly.
Yeah, Ant, aren't you publishing a book right now? How did you get a publisher if this is not happening? Or are you yourself not including the themes that you want and stuff? Which is it?
Here we go.
In that line of work, you're always going to have to make compromises. That's just the sad reality of it.
Here we go.
Life, not supposed to be easy.
Last chapter. Let's fucking power through this. I have the feeling this man is gay. What?
Hold on. Oh, thank you. Read the. Yeah, I have this feeling this man is gay.
No.
After 35 years of knowing John Waters, I turned to my wife and I said to her, I have the feeling this man is gay.
I'd like to thank Chloe Flora and Jazzy for their little readings in the video before.
Wait, hold on. What?
This man is gay.
I'd like to thank Chloe Flora and Jazzy for their little readings in the video before. That really was a big help. I know Jazzy in particular loves N.D. Stevenson and all that, so she was very excited to do that recording. This is the first of several projects I'm doing for Pride Month, and
what a waste of time.
Like the rest, the next couple will be very, very intense.
Elon Musk doesn't understand cyberpunk. What the shit?
Oh my! Well,
I didn't hear it. Did he say Elon Musk?
No, it's just this other video he made. Okay. That's getting added to the list. That's right there. Okay.
That was the dumbest.
Yes.
And it's gonna give us so much.
So what did we learn?
What did we learn from this today? We learned nothing. We killed 2 hours. We wasted 2.5 hours. We'll never get back.
We certainly didn't learn why we need bad LGBTQIA representation at all. We never learned why.
We learned the worst way to present an opinion.
Yeah.
Like if you,
I thought his thesis was Yuri on Ice.
That we need to make sacrifices to have money and shit. I don't know.
So badly, it's like there's just no, like he can't stay on a point. His conclusions don't make sense. It's just the most aimless video essay I've ever seen. He can't stay on a point. There's no thesis, and there's just like I could feel my brain cells leaving as I was watching.
Welcome to the Backseat Boys, Jeremy.
It legitimately feels like he's using some sort of strategy to try to reduce the clarity of his points because he knows that most people that are on their panel, I guess, are just going to agree for whatever reason he's doing it.
Ant may be stupid, but he is smart to a degree, so there is maybe Luck Pup's onto something.
It's like I said, he's being deceptive. He does it on purpose.
Or you could say he's dumb, but he's not stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you some free advice on how to structure argumentation. Point, evidence, explanation. It's as simple as that. You make a point, you present your evidence, and you explain why the evidence supports the point. That's all you need to do. It's not that hard. If you want to do it multiple times with different topics.
How many subscribers does he have now? 100,000 something?
175K, something like that. Let me check.
It says 68,000.
Oh, he's good. 68.3K. God, he's getting more and more with each passing day.
Well, it's this moment in my life that I question why I didn't become a customer service rep.
Yeah, we all done that.
You just get to the end of the call and you're just like, what? So what do you want? You know, because they can never tell you what they want.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
He's a snake oil salesman, though.
The reason he does well is because he speaks fine enough, and he makes his videos regularly, and they have the veneer of being like, oh yeah, that's a really good point. But he's actually saying nothing. He's like
baffle them with bullshit, basically.
It's like I said, it's the video essay special. It's meandering on for 17 minutes, 37 minutes in this case, not saying anything, and then bookending it with, so we all learned that topic is a good thing, right, guys? It's like, yeah, no, not really. You've not said anything.
We almost get like a history lesson because he has to go back in the past, and then somehow it's relevant to modern times, and then
it's literally just like, look at all these random things that I guess had queer people in them. It's just like, okay,
and you're like, wow,
thanks, pal.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, he's successful because the people on the same side of him or whatever will just support literally anything on that same side, especially if they throw in little quips that are supposed to be owning the bigots and right-wing trolls, which
the chuds
he was doing.
Again, it's like as long as they're for their side, they will literally believe anything people like Ant and them spew. It's like again, it's like no thinking. It's just you say what I agree with, therefore I will like no critical thinking. Just like critical thinking. I will never like introspect and anyone. It's just really frustrating seeing like this type of stuff.
It's the second monitor effect. He expects that people aren't paying full attention to everything he's saying when he makes his video.
Right. That's it.
Genius.
Well, with that, everybody, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below with a video, subscribe for more videos like this, and we'll see you guys next time in the backseat. Take care.
Yuri on Ice.